A desolate scene unfolds in the aftermath of fierce devastation. Beneath a mystical indigo sky, shattered buildings loom. On the cracked ground, a lone silver-white car sits abandoned, its tires misaligned, doors dented and ajar, revealing an urgent warning crackling from a staticky radio. Belto-class monsters have appeared at Sedimen intersection. The response team includes second-rank awakened, Kim Sang-gyu. The car shakes violently as the warning persists. Outside, Zankaku roars, a pack of 6 or 7 massive creatures with mottled green-white skin and beaks bristling with sharp teeth charge forward. At the other end, a small figure wielding a spear dashes toward them, cloak billowing in the wind. Sangha closes in. Up close, the towering, long-necked beasts seem even more terrifying. They crane their necks, exposing bloated bellies. Suddenly, a frenzied Belto roars, as if sensing danger. Kim Sangha sweeps his spear, slicing through the air and cutting into the Belto pack. He clicks his tongue. Just 10 of them, and my eardrums already feel like they're about to burst. With that, his staff surges with power. Crackling purple lightning envelopes him, brimming with raw energy. Sangha leaps, gripping his staff tightly, ready to unleash a spear thrust that lights up the sky. The condensed energy warps the air, stunning the long-beaked Belto. Suddenly, Sangha senses something strange, a ferocious power surging from afar, crashing like a tidal wave. Before the Belto can react, they're shredded into pieces in seconds. His spear, flashing with purple lightning, pulses with unrelenting force. Sangha freezes, watching the Belto fall. It happens so fast he can only blurt, "What the hell?" The creatures' heads are severed cleanly, swiftly, before Sangha and his teammate's eyes. His teammate gasps in awe, "Captain, you're incredible, taking down this mini Belto in one strike." But Sangha frowns, his gaze pensive, and shakes his head. "That wasn't me." The woman's eyes widen in surprise. Sangha continues, "I'm not a main damage dealer like the Sword Queen, specializing in wide-area attacks." Sensing something, he turns to scan the surroundings. His teammate, still confused, watches him. He asks, "Was any other awakened unit dispatched here besides us?" She blinks, puzzled. "No, I haven't heard of any." Sangha rubs his chin, murmuring, "Strange. As far as I know, no one in the country has this level of power." His teammate remains baffled, staring at the pile of abandoned purple mana crystals. She mutters, "They took down the monsters but left the mana stones? Those are the most valuable part." Sangha, equally perplexed, says, "What the hell is going on here?" He kneels, analyzing silently. The clean cuts on the Belto suggest an awakened's handiwork, someone at least rank 4, maybe even 5, who vanished without a trace. What's their goal? Sangha scans the area, deciding, for now, collect the mana stones and contact HQ to send a cleanup team. His teammate nods, "Yes, Captain." Then, his gaze catches something, a pristine eatery amidst the ruins. He muses, an eatery called. Eatery. Approaching, he looks up, thinking, if that weirdo who carved out the Belto's breast meat slipped up, it might have landed around here. He chuckles, "Lucky owner." Shrugging, Sangha stretches, "Let's go. I'm in the mood for a drink." On the wrecked car, small birds perch peacefully. Kong Cheol, wiping his hair, descends a staircase leisurely. He opens a door, stepping into the desolate scene outside. Entering the eatery, he fires up the stove, places a pan on the high-end range, and checks the fridge. Inside, alongside onions and cilantro, lies a mana stone wrapped in cloth. Kong Cheol, hands on hips, stares at a plump cut of meat, muttering, "Did I slice too much Belto meat?" Pondering, he recalls the Belto corpses, probably cleaned up by now. "Maybe I'll make some jerky." Lost in thought, he's jolted by a knock and an urgent voice. "Is Kong Cheol here?" He opens the door calmly. A man in a suit, briefcase in hand, introduces himself. "I'm from the Awakened Association. Are you Kong Cheol?" Kong Cheol, hands in pockets, nods, "Yes." Choi Jiwoo explains politely, "A Belto herd attacked this area." His tone is mechanical. Thankfully, they were dealt with quickly, but it must have been terrifying. He states his purpose, "I'm here to check for damages." Kong Cheol scratches his head, sheepish, "Oh, well, isn't that just another day?" Jaewoo gives a strained smile. "They say the world's more stable now, but incidents like this still happen. Luckily, there are barely any residents here, so damage was minimal." As he speaks, a savory aroma catches Jaewoo's attention. He sniffs. "What's that smell?" Ignoring Kong Cheol's bored stance, he adds, "Well, it is an eatery." Jaewoo, embarrassed, asks, "If you're open, can I get breakfast? I've been running around all morning, haven't eaten." Kang Cheol smiles faintly, sure. Inside, Jaewoo marvels at the cozy, spotless interior, sparkling clean. It's like an eatery from pre-Portal movies. Not finding what he needs, he hesitates. I don't see a menu. Can I have one? From the kitchen, Kang Cheol replies calmly, we don't have a menu. We cook based on daily ingredients. Jaewoo sits, watching Kang Cheol tie an apron, and asks, any specials today? Without turning, Kang Cheol says, could be. Glancing back with a grin, he adds, today's special, Belto steak. Jaewoo freezes for 5 seconds, repeating, Belto? He recalls the towering Belto facing Sangyu. His tone brightens, good thing Master Sangha handled them. They headed straight for the market. As Kang Cheol pours fresh milk into the pan, he says, yeah, that's how I got this fresh Belto meat. They're ferocious, but the meat's divine. Jaewoo, hesitant, asks, Belto meat. Kang Cheol encourages, try the steak. Jaewoo says, sounds intriguing, but internally panics, checking his wallet under the table, thinking, steak? I thought this was a cheap diner. Hope I have enough cash. Unaware of Jaewoo's worries, Kang Cheol seasons the meat, his mind wandering. 30 years ago, he awoke in another world filled with dragons and alien monsters. He recalls facing a blood-red dragon, battling for survival in armor with just a sword. Memories flood back, defeating the Demon King in his grand hall, returning to Earth in a blaze of light, only to witness monsters and dragons pouring through a space-time rift. The soul he knew was gone. Sprinkling pepper and soy sauce onto the sizzling steak, Kang Cheol reflects. For 30 years in that other world, he fought the Demon King and mastered every monster's weakness. But back on Earth, seeing people fight, he wonders, do they still need me? Plating the steak with mushrooms and greens, he concludes, humans here protect this world in their own way. Drizzling sauce, he admires his work. This is the era now. The Belto steak, juicy and smothered in curry sauce, is served. Kang Cheol says, try it. Jaewoo, drooling, thinks, I just wanted a quick bite, but this looks amazing. Taking a bite, the rich sauce explodes on his tongue. Eyes wide, he exclaims, so juicy. He muses, those Belto tormented me all morning, and now they're soothing my nerves. Devouring it, he mutters, no time for overthinking. Kang Cheol smirks. Jaewoo, sauce around his mouth, eats ravenously, thinking, worth every penny. Finishing, he holds out his plate, eyes gleaming, another Belto steak, please. Kang Cheol pauses, then says, all right. He thinks, I hunted that for myself, but there goes the second serving. Jaewoo sighs, satisfied, so good. Can I have the bill? Kang Cheol replies, first-time customers eat free. Jaewoo jumps up, no way. That was phenomenal. Scratching his head, he insists, this meal erased my stress. I'll be back, so let me pay. Kang Cheol chuckles, fine, $10. Jaewoo places a $10 bill by the plate, grinning. Thanks for the meal. Oddly, Kang Cheol feels puzzled. Jaewoo cautions, stay safe. It's tough for non-awakened like us. Like a worried mother, he adds, if monsters show up, evacuate fast. Handing over his business card, he says, things are better than years ago when this was a wasteland, but it's still dangerous. Kang Cheol stares at the card, barely listening as Jaewoo continues, call me if anything happens. Thanks again. After Jaewoo leaves, Kang Cheol mutters, tough times for the non-awakened. He lowers his head, thinking, not a bad guy. Live-long, office worker. Inside, another juicy Belto steak appears. He slices it, chewing and praises, just as I expected, delicious. Outside, a bird perks up at a sound. Inside, Kang Cheol, now relaxed, massages his neck, another smooth day. Wiping the counter, he muses, I'll have a drink and rest. Spotting oversized, scaly eggs, he wonders, should I whip up something with those Belto eggs? Pondering, he's interrupted by the door slamming open. A hooded figure in long pants stands at the threshold, scowling. There you are. Before Kang Cheol can react, the youth snaps, I'm here to take back what's mine. A few hours earlier, at Setiman's bustling traditional market, Kang Cheol weaves through the lively morning crowd, a basket slung over his shoulder. The sky is clear, and vendors' calls ring out. Herbs brewed with cooked Belto. We're buying mana crystals at top prices. Kang Cheol, one hand in his pocket, strolls leisurely. He muses that since monsters appeared, animal hides and fresh vegetables became their food, making basic ingredients scarce. Humans had no choice but to use monsters as a food source, though many were reluctant. He wonders, is it because it tastes better than expected, or because it's so much cheaper? His mind conjures images of delicious, meticulously prepared dishes. Artificial farming now supplies enough meat and vegetables, marinated cuts, pastries, even exotic recipes. Yet, monster ingredients remain popular. Kong Cheol notices a stall selling monster eggs, its owner cheerfully haggling. The Setiman monster market has grown significantly. The stall owner, patting a massive purple egg, tells a customer, "These monster eggs just arrived in bulk. Take a look." As Kong Cheol approaches, the owner says, "I'm not sure about these." The awakened association check them, but monster eggs look so alike. I can't tell them apart. Kong Cheol activates Insight, an artifact from Canis, the silver dragon ruling the northern mountains of the empire. This artifact reveals the true nature of objects. With Insight active, each egg displays details, item name, rank, mostly rank 4, and specific descriptions. He stole this artifact while capturing the Demon King, and it's one of his most used relics. He silently reads the egg names, Belto, Shisratops. Thanks to Insight, he can discern a target's strength, tendencies, and even detect lies. However, he avoids using it on people whenever possible. Deciding, he says, "I'll take all of these." He gathers the large eggs. The stall owner beams, "You're buying a lot." But Kong Cheol's mind lingers on Insight. Knowing the truth only brings regret. Among the eggs, one icy green egg shows no information. Kong Cheol's eyes narrow. "Huh? No data on that one?" He points at that egg too. The owner nods, "Sure." Back home, Kong Cheol cracks an egg into a sizzling pan, thinking, eating's a waste of time on the battlefield. He once saw a good meal as a luxury. Pouring milk into the pan, he reflects that only delicious things remain. The result? A fluffy pile of Belto scrambled eggs drizzled with sauce alongside 2 sandwiches. The main ingredients are Belto eggs and curry milk. The dish evokes past memories. They say food and scents are powerful triggers for recalling places. He remembers sitting with comrades under a dense forest canopy, sunlight dazzling. Someone once asked, "It's creamy because of the curry milk, right?" He replied, "Not sure." He recalls eating this with teammates on the battlefield. Chewing a sandwich, he praises, "Belto eggs are rich, blending perfectly with curry milk. So flavorful. I love its softness." Eating alone, he thinks, delicious. Closing my eyes brings those memories back. Finishing, he gazes at the gentle sunset streaming through the large window, a flicker of nostalgia in his eyes. He muses, "The faces I miss. Now, I'm starting to miss those I can't see anymore. Am I really getting old?" Snapping out of it, he remembers the odd icy green egg. Glancing at it in the basket, he mutters, "That egg couldn't be scanned by Insight, right?" He knows a dragon's artifact forms naturally at birth, absorbing its power, creating immense pressure on surrounding creatures but unusable on fellow dragons. Approaching, he lightly touches the egg, thinking, "Could this be a dragon egg? I never expected to buy one at a market." Holding it gently, he wonders, what would it taste like? How should I cook it? Just then, the restaurant door swings open. A tall, lanky figure stands at the threshold. Kong Cheol turns. The young man glances around, asking, "Is this the restaurant?" Dressed in a simple hoodie, hair tied in a small bun, he clenches his fist defensively, growling, "I'm here for my stuff." Spotting the egg in Kong Cheol's hands, he points, "There it is." Kong Cheol silently activates Insight but gleans nothing about the stranger. Suspecting he's after the egg, Kong Cheol asks bluntly, "Are you a dragon?" The red-haired youth freezes, his reaction confirming Kong Cheol's guess. Kong Cheol strokes his chin, "Didn't expect dragons in this world. I had a hunch." Khan, radiating heat like a blazing fire, mutters, "How?" Wary, he releases his power, growling, "How do you know my identity?" Flames swirl around him, eyes glowing red. But Kong Cheol remains unfazed, arms crossed as if watching a show, teasing, "All fired up already?" This only enrages Khan further. He snaps, "Answer me, human." Kong Cheol calmly says, "I'm not here to fight. I have an artifact called Insight. Dragon info is the only thing I can't see." This infuriates Khan more. "Insight? A dragon artifact in your hands?" Kong Cheol leans casually on the counter. "You know Insight? That makes this easier." Facing Kong Cheol's unnerving calm, Khan, fuming, thinks, "This guy's no ordinary restaurateur. How's he so composed before a dragon?" Ignoring Khan's battle-ready stance, Kong Cheol says, "Take it. I'm glad its owner came. Just clean up before you go." Khan, unyielding, snaps, "A puny human dares speak to me like that?" Noticing a sharp knife on the kitchen rack, he stammers, "Are those dragon scales a weapon?" Kang Cheol nods. "It's a knife, but it could be a weapon. I use it in the kitchen." Khan then smells dragon bone from a pristine cutting board. Kang Cheol's confirmation, dragon bone fuels Khan's rage. His red scales flare. Dragon bones and scales are priceless, yet he uses them as kitchen tools? Did he kill my kind for this? Khan grits his teeth. "I can't forgive you." His anger peaking, Khan unleashes his power. Amid swirling flames, he roars, "Die, human pest." Kang Cheol sighs. "Huh?" Annoyed, he mutters, "Cleaning's a pain, and you're making a mess?" An emerald energy orb hurls toward him. Unfazed, Kang Cheol exhales, as expected. His hand reaches out, saying, "Dragon." The orb is drawn to him like a magnet. Dark energy radiates from him, his left eye glowing. He continues, "While holding this pan without smashing you." The pan smacks the orb, dispersing its energy, leaving Khan stunned, his initial fury fading. Khan gapes. "What?" Kang Cheol, pan in hand, charges, eyes flashing, saying, "Don't expect mercy." The pan lands squarely on Khan's cheek, distorting his face. Dazed, Khan thinks, that voice. I've heard it before. Memories flood back. Kang Cheol, in armor with a sword at his hip, declared, "I'm here for the Demon King. No time for nonsense, so let's cut to it." Hoisting a massive sword onto his shoulder, he demanded, "Hand over the artifact. You don't use it, so let me. Refuse, and I'll beat you, and take it." Before him stood a majestic red-scaled dragon, towering dozens of times larger than a human, perched in an arena. Beside it was a smaller, juvenile red dragon. The father dragon, enraged by Kang Cheol's audacity, growled, "What's this mad human blabbering about?" Its deadly red eyes glared. The young dragon trembled, reaching out as if to say, "No, father. He's Lycus." It thought, terrified, "I saw him 30 years ago. He'll defeat father." Panicked, it covered its eyes with claws, screaming inwardly. Lycus noticed, "HM? A kid." Darkness fell, and a voice said, "You shouldn't see this." Khan snaps back to reality, sprawled on the floor. Kang Cheol sits casually, sipping liquor. Seeing Khan stir, he says, "Awake? Let's talk about cleaning." He eyes his glass, "Clean up, and you can take your stuff." Khan, still shaken, nods. Kang Cheol adds, "I don't like dragons for personal reasons. If you don't comply, I'll have to use force." Khan, once arrogant, now meekly wipes the floor, looking dejected and incredulous. Kang Cheol pours more liquor, snacking while Khan scrubs. He remarks, "You're not local, since you know insight." Khan replies, "I was born on the Ispan continent. Recently, I fell into this world through a dimensional rift." Kang Cheol, hand on chin, eyes the odd egg, Ispan's link to this world. No wonder the monsters look familiar. This must be from Pan. Khan looks up. Kang Cheol says lightly, "There. I'm Lycus. Here, I'm Kang Cheol. Heard of me?" Noticing Khan's distraction, he prods, "What's wrong? Hand's not moving?" Khan, startled, scrubs harder, thinking, "I knew it. It's him." After vigorous cleaning, the place sparkles. Kang Cheol nods, "Nice and clean. Take your stuff." Khan hesitates. "Why didn't you return my father's artifact after killing the Demon King?" Kang Cheol asks, "Who's your father?" Khan names him. A damp cloth drips in a bucket nearby. Kang Cheol realizes, that red dragon? No wonder your aura's similar. You're that kid. Khan jumps, "Yes." Still cowering, he keeps his distance, haunted by the past. His trembling amuses Kang Cheol, who laughs, "Come here. I won't hit you. I quit beating dragons 30 years ago." Khan retorts, "Liar. I don't know human ages, but you haven't aged much. And you just hit me." Kang Cheol asks, "How old are you?" Khan counts, 1, 2. Kang Cheol says, "I'm a bit over 50. Khan gasps, "Are you an elf? Living that long?" Kang Cheol grins, "Am I that handsome?" Khan, cheeks reddening, mutters, "Not really." Kang Cheol teases, "Punishment tames unruly dragons." Seeing Khan's fear, he laughs, "A dragon scared of a human. Hilarious." Khan snaps, "Dragons feel fear too. You killed my kind. Will you kill me?" Kang Cheol's tone turns serious. There's a misunderstanding. The dragon scale knife and board were gifts. I fought dragons but never killed one. Khan pauses. Kang Cheol explains, "Sorry, but your father's artifact broke during my fight with the Demon King. I couldn't return it even if I wanted to. I needed it, though I forget what it was." Eyeing the snacks and liquor, he says, "You've got a lot to say. Can you drink?" Khan scoffs, drink with a lowly human? But soon, tipsy, he slumps, mumbling, pointing skyward, you're the first human to drink with a dragon. Be proud. Kong Cheol chuckles, another first human title. He asks, did you lay that egg? You're young for a dragon, impressive. The emerald dragon egg sits in the basket, exuding a faint chill. Kong clarifies, I'm male. Males don't lay eggs. That's my sister. Kong Cheol, puzzled, says, I thought dragons were hermaphrodites? Your sister. Khan recounts how he and his sister arrived in this world. A dimensional rift opened in their dragon lair while their parents were away. Kong Cheol asks, so you're a stray across dimensions? How long have you been here? Khan replies, about half a year. Kong Cheol nods, similar to when I returned to Earth. Khan, surprised, asks, I heard you vanished after killing the Demon King. You didn't return right away? Kong Cheol says, I had things to settle there, so it took time. Khan, buzzed, hums, fascinating. His cheeks flush. He asks, why hide in this useless restaurant? You saved a world, vanished, then popped up in another dimension. Kong Cheol, half listening, says, what? Khan argues, a monster like you could rule the world. Kong Cheol grows quiet, serious. Khan presses, monsters are rampaging here. Don't you want the world in your grasp? Kong Cheol doesn't answer, asking instead, why think that? I want to hear this fiery dragon's thoughts. Khan slams the table. Humans are all about power, war, greed. After you defeated the Demon King, didn't humans start fighting each other? Kong Cheol swirls his glass, sounds reasonable, but I'm not interested. Squinting, he rubs his head. I'm tired of it. Khan growls, I don't trust humans. Kong Cheol shrugs, at least take care of your only sibling. Tipsy, Khan hugs the egg, swaying with a goofy smile. Yeah, my sister's gorgeous. Too drunk, he tilts right, nearly falling. Kong Cheol catches him, muttering, I told you to be careful. After the chaos, Kong Cheol blinks. A tiny pale green dragon head with clear blue eyes stares at him. He thinks, what's with those eyes? His vision clears, revealing Khan perched backward on a chair, grinning mischievously. A small pale green dragon, soft fur on its front, reaches for him, chirping Kiyu in a childish voice. Khan exclaims, my sister's born. Kong Cheol adjusts to the newborn dragon. The egg has hatched, revealing a baby dragon. Kiyu playfully flicks her scaly tail. Kong Cheol asks, what do you call her? Khan says, little dragon. Kong Cheol points out, isn't that just dragon baby? Khan shrugs, I'm thinking of a name. Kong Cheol pets Kiyu, asking, male or female? Khan snaps, she's a girl, and don't treat her like a pet. Kong Cheol pinches Kiyu's round cheeks, thinking, tiny as a millet seed, but she's got teeth. Are dragons omnivores? Watching her, he pauses. Khan beams, right? My sister's adorable, the cutest. Kong Cheol pats her head, nodding. He asks Khan, where'll you take little dragon now? Khan freezes, uneasy, silent. Sensing the pause, Kong Cheol smiles, if you've got nowhere to go, eat before you leave. Outside, amid the partially ravaged city, Kong Cheol's eatery stands resilient, a beacon in the storm's eye. Now it's changed. Torrential rain hammers the windows, mingling with the cold hum of machinery. A desolate wind howls, lightning cracking above, briefly illuminating a dense forest corner. Cursed monsters prowl through the tempest, reeking of blood. From somewhere, the clink of the last shared drink echoes. A spectral voice, as if from eternity, whispers, Moreau, long, disheveled hair sprawls across ashen ground, its color unclear, veiled in cold, lonely mist. A half-hidden smile and face emerge. The figure murmurs, perhaps to themselves or to some Moreau. Ah, still alive. The scent of blood melds with the air. Inside Kong Cheol's eatery, a fork stabs into a supersized hamburger steak, slathered in rich sauce, garnished vibrantly. Kyul chirps, Kyul delightedly. The main ingredients, Belto breast and Shiceratops leg meat, spongy yet soft, ideal for young and old. Kong Cheol gently wipes Kyul's mouth as she wags her tail, adorable. He asks Khan, who's about to dig into a hefty meat portion, planning to head home now. Khan startles, sweating. Yeah. Recalling no meal is free, he asks, how much for this? Kong Cheol replies lightly, $10, but you can leave without paying. Khan musters courage, clenching his fist. Got a place to stay? Kong Cheol's blunt, nope. Khan slumps, shoulders drooping. Kong Cheol thinks, I get it. Stranded in another world must be lonely. I always saw dragons as proud, arrogant creatures. He muses, a lonely dragon? If Aspan's scholars heard this, they'd write 100 papers. He and Kyul notice a purple mana stone Khan places on the table. Khan says, "This is for you." He adds, "It's a rank for mana stone. Still valuable here." His hand glides over the cool stone. Kyul mimics him. Kang Chiol chuckles. Heh. Covering his face in mock exasperation, he sparks Khan's irritation. "Why are you laughing?" Khan's face flushes. Kyul chirps, Kyul repeatedly. Kang Chiol eyes Kyul's chubby, greedy face, still hungry. He feeds her a juicy steak bite. Kyul giggles, satisfied. As he feeds her, he thinks, surviving on Earth with a kid like this, even for a dragon, is tough. His thoughts drift to that other world. A woman's image surfaces, her face obscured by a grim, ashen memory, the name Moreau buried deep. He sighs bitterly. I'll probably never see her again in this lifetime. Shaking it off, he says, "Stay a few days. You don't need that stone." Khan beams, his smile radiant. Kyul tilts her head, curious. Kang Chiol thinks optimistically. Having someone to share secrets with might add some joy. Khan panics. "I can't rely on you forever. You even gave me food." Kang Chiol shrugs. He lets Kyul climb over his arm. Pointing upward, he conjures a swirling black aura under Khan's puzzled gaze. As his finger lowers, the aura expands into a rift to another dimension. Khan leaps, eyes wide. What? From the dense black mist, dimensional energy tears open, revealing a teal-purple goblin in a sharp suit, glasses refined, exuding nobility. He bows deeply. "Welcome, king of the world. It's been a while since you visited the subspace. This is Kasim, an immortal goblin." Khan jolts, "A goblin?" Kang Chiol, holding playful Kyul, who's eager to meet the newcomer, explains, "He manages my subspace items." He greets Kasim. "Long time, Kasim. I told you not to call me that." Kasim apologizes. "My mistake, sir. You're just plain Kang Chiol now." He asks, "What brings you here?" Kang Chiol asks sternly, "How many mana stones are in the subspace?" Kasim steps aside, revealing a dazzling array of multicolored, multi-rank mana stones. Calmly, he says, "As many as sand on a beach. 4 high-grade ones, about 5 supreme grade, and 120 high-grade." Kang Chiol nods, handing Khan's purple stone to Kasim. "Got it. Add this." Khan, witnessing this, is speechless. Kasim takes it, another grain of sand. Kang Chiol moves to close the portal, but pauses. "Wait. I should grab that." Kasim complies. "Here, sir." They exchange items. Khan, stunned, mutters, "Supreme grade is rank 1 here. Mana stones treated like sand." Kasim nods. "Quite so." He retreats, the portal closing. Kasim bows, hand on chest. "Until next time, king of the world." Correcting himself, "No, plain Kang Chiol." Kang Chiol's face darkens, a hint of past authority surfacing. Kasim vanishes. Kang Chiol stands, facing Khan and Kyul's dumbfounded stares. He says, "Now, I need your help with something." Outside, white clouds drift, morning sun and breeze rustling leaves. On the eatery's balcony, Kyul naps on a small cushion, her green scales glinting. A second later, peace shatters. Whether due to Kyul's deep sleep or soundproof windows, she doesn't stir as a fiery explosion lands on the rooftop. Khan, sulking with a bump on his head, faces Kang Chiol, clearly reprimanded for reckless fire spitting. Kang Chiol says firmly, "I told you. Uncontrolled flames burn everything. Aim precisely." One hand on his hip, Kang Chiol raises a gleaming, intricately engraved sword, skewering a large tenderloin. Khan sighs, "Got it." Kang Chiol lifts the sword. Again start. Khan breathes dragon fire, adjusting to cook the meat evenly. The Idaho breath steak is born. Idaho tenderloin, medium rare, fat melting, dripping onto the blade, releasing an irresistible aroma. Kang Chiol nods. "That's it." He carefully slides the meat off, wrapping it in paper. Khan, curious, asks, "That thin sword from your subspace. It's not ordinary, right?" Kang Chiol shrugs. "Probably not." He tries recalling. "What's it called?" "Rickafel's Edge, I think." A dwarf artisan, Rickafel's masterpiece, hailed as a divine weapon, unmatched. Khan's awestruck. They head downstairs. Khan, hands in pockets, asks, "Why use priceless artifacts for pointless cooking? A weapon like that isn't for this." Kong Cheol, carrying meat and sword, replies, "Isn't using them better than hoarding like a dragon, never touching them?" Khan nods, "Fair point." Kong Cheol glances at Khan's childish, innocent demeanor, thinking, honestly, he's not very dragon-like. A voice interrupts, "Hello, boss." They turn. Choi Jae-woo appears, smiling, eyes squinting, saluting, just passing by on patrol. Kong Cheol treats him to a feast. Dirty dishes pile in the sink, including the sword used for skewering. Choi Jae-woo, chewing, hums, "Smells amazing today too." Kong Cheol and Jae-woo chat. Jae-woo, noticing Khan washing dishes in pink gloves, asks, "Hired a new guy?" Kong Cheol mumbles, "Sort of." Khan flinches. Jae-woo grows serious. More importantly, a new dungeon appeared in the underground tunnel between Sinchon and Sediman. It's steeped in magic, hiding an endless light source. He adds, "Sediman's recruiting awakened for it." Kong Cheol's hand tightens on the armrest. "Is that so?" he murmurs, thinking, "A forming dungeon?" He envisions a dungeon cloaked in dark magic, its carved gates pulsing with spiritual energy. It acts as a portal, summoning creatures from other dimensions where rifts form. He reflects, connecting it to his and Khan's arrivals. He asks, "Any info on difficulty?" Jae-woo answers clearly, "Estimated rank 5. He elaborates, "Sediman sending Kim Sang-gu and Zenkaku. In Sinchon, Cheon leads a team. Sediman's guarded by a spear master, Sinchon by an ice sorceress." The name, Cheon, feels unfamiliar, but Kong Cheol doesn't pry. Jae-woo lowers his head, somber. They're forming a reserve team, so the plaza's packed with job seekers. After a pause, he adds, "It breaks my heart every time. So many awaken now. Only the best get picked." His hands clasp, voice sincere, like an old labor site. "Most probably have families. Sometimes, I'm glad I'm not awakened, with a stable job." Above, sunset paints the buildings pink-orange. Jae-woo checks his watch. "This late? Thanks for the meal, as always." After he leaves, Khan, still in pink gloves, clenches his fist excitedly. "My Idaho roast is getting praise." Kong Cheol, mind elsewhere, replies, "Maybe." Holding a crumpled $10 bill, he mutters, "Might grab more Idaho meat." Seemingly casual, only he knows his thoughts. At dusk, Kong Cheol, hands in pockets, basket over shoulder, stands in the monster market before an Idaho beef stall. He points at a cut behind glass. 10 kilos of Idaho tenderloin. The young vendor asks, "Sliced?" Kong Cheol declines, "Whole." A sharp female voice cuts in. "Those joining the raid, line up here." Nearby, by a white car, 2 striking figures in combat gear. A man with a spear and a nimble woman guiding a crowd. Watching, Kong Cheol muses, he looks familiar. Who is he? Studying the man's long ponytail, he recalls, right, Kim Sang-gu. Rank, 2 awakened spearmaster. He recognizes this as recruitment for the raid Jae-woo mentioned. Lately, dungeon raid teams, called strike squads, mimic old game systems. Online, raid team info and awakened job postings flood forums. Kong Cheol thinks, "I gained long ago, so I caught on quick." The recruiters are surrounded by diverse awakened, each showcasing unique skills. He reflects, as the world turned into a fantasy game, existing terms caught on. That's not the only similarity. He mentally maps a random 12-person team. Tanks and healers are treated like royalty, while DPS roles are oversaturated. Only 3 or 4 have critical skills. He reasons DPS classes are more varied. A stocky, short-haired man pleads, "Any DPS spots? I've got plenty of power. Please." He's rebuffed. "Sorry, we need healers." Kong Cheol notes, "Unless your attack's exceptional, jobs are scarce." He recalls Jae-woo's words, "Most probably have families." The moment silences him. Turning away, he sees a man with a large backpack, looking dejected. Kong Cheol pockets his hands, head lowered, thinking, Jae was a good guy. I just wish he'd care for himself more. Footsteps echo. The rejected man pulls out an empty wallet, sighing, his negativity palpable. Back at the eatery, Kong Cheol sets his basket down, scanning the place. "Khan?" No response. "He got here first?" Kitchen spotless. Tilting his head, he hears a sound. A hesitant male voice at the door. The tall man from the market asks, still open. Kang Cheol welcomes him, offering water. The man, Kim Manho, thanks him but seems uneasy. Thanks. Kang Cheol dons an apron, starting to cook. Manho asks, got ramen? Sorry if you don't. Kang Cheol says, no problem, give me a sec. Glancing at red ramen packets on the shelf, he thinks, odd, ramen's still the cheap fallback after 30 years. Prices rose, flavor shifted, no more wheat. Grabbing a pack, Manho, behind the counter, asks nervously, how much for a bowl? Kang Cheol replies, $2. Manho's sad face lights up. That cheap? Can I get 5? Kang Cheol pauses, doubting his ears. 5? Can you eat all that? Manho nods earnestly. Yes, I can. Please, I'd appreciate it. Suspicious, Kang Cheol activates insight. Above Manho's weathered face, a blue panel appears. Good alignment, Devourer class, lowest mastery, high potential. Kang Cheol thinks, Devourer? I remember that. A teammate had it. Devourers grow stronger with food, ingredient quality matters. Early on, it's weak, hard to use, and they're always hungry. Manho clutches his stomach, visibly famished. Kang Cheol opens the packet, thinking he's not at a high level yet. Finishing, he announces, your ramen's ready. On the table, a massive pot of steaming ramen, piled with meat, garnished vibrantly, beside fragrant kimchi, broth shimmering. Kang Cheol names it, Jumbo Ataho grilled ramen. Manho lifts a juicy meat slice, stunned. What's this? Kang Cheol says, on the house. Manho gasps, really? Kang Cheol, pensive, thinks, good people always struggle. In chaos, the kind fall first. If his alignment wasn't good, even as a devourer, I'd ignore him. Manho hesitates, hungry. Kang Cheol reassures, first customer of the day eats free to come back. Manho bites the meat, exclaiming, thank you. Savoring it, his eyes widen. I didn't expect it to be so rich and aromatic. Kang Cheol, arms crossed, smiles, you've got good taste. Manho slurps rapidly, devouring huge bites. He lifts the pot, draining the broth until it gleams, reflecting his face. Satisfied, he says, out of this world. Standing, he bows deeply. Thank you, boss. This was amazing. Kang Cheol replies, glad you liked it. Manho insists, really delicious. Suddenly, he remembers payment. Oh, money. Opening his wallet, his face falls as coins and a white box spill out. He kneels to pick them up. The box opens, revealing a simple green tie. He stammers. This, Kang Cheol asks, a tie. Manho hands over the money, embarrassed. Sorry, it's dirty. Thanks for the meal. Kang Cheol glances at the bills. No problem. Outside, Manho scratches his head, holding the tie box, posture slouched but relieved. I'll be back. Kang Cheol, in a long black apron, watches silently, analyzing, dusty clothes, brand new tie. Khan appears, rubbing sleepy eyes, hair a mess. Huh? When'd you get back? Kang Cheol, lost in thought, muses, trying to impress someone. I recall a man living a hard life in chaos, but I forgot the rest. Khan marvels at the spotless pot. Wow, no need to wash this. Later, Kang Cheol spots Manho on the street, tie box in hand, looking forlorn. His gaze fixes ahead. Before him looms a dungeon teeming with monsters, majestic and eerie, concealing a space-time rift, dark energy swirling. And perhaps, that's when the gate explodes. A mystical gate opens in the sky, shimmering with green light, enveloped in swirling purple-black mist. Below, a bustling city hums. A man guarding a barricade stops Kim Manho. It's dangerous. Step back. Kim Manho grips the barrier, pleading, I'm unawakened. Got any work for me? The white-haired guard asks, what's your rank? Kim Manho explains, I work in food-related skills. I don't have special abilities, but my strength. Before he finishes, the guard scoffs, this dungeon's not for average awakened. Even our team came back injured. That gate's that dangerous. He advises, you'd better evacuate to safety. Mijin, healing an injured person with magic, spots Kim Manho. He shouts, Mijin. She looks up, shocked, Dad. He pushes past the barricade, rushing to her, calling, Mijin. His sudden move catches the guard off guard. Kim Manho demands, what are you doing in a dangerous place like this? What about school? Mijin lowers her head. They said there were many injured, so the school sent most awakened students to help. Angrily, she snaps, Dad, why are you here? I'll handle this. Get out. Kim Manho, hurt, says, I'm worried sick, you know? Mijin snaps back. Worried? You said your only skill is eating. You eat, work, never come home. You think risking yourself among the injured is worth it? She pushes him. I said I need money, so I'm earning a scholarship. You barging in makes me look pathetic. Shooing him, she says, go evacuate. A box falls from Kim Manho's coat. Mijin gasps, a tie? She scolds, ignoring his expression. Dad, you don't even have a proper weapon. Footsteps emerge from the portal. Kim Sanga steps out, whispering to a red-haired woman. She announces joyfully, the dungeon raid's complete. Great work, everyone. A voice calls, healers, gather here to treat the wounded. Mijin rushes back, yes, leaving her father standing alone, without a goodbye. Kim Manho stands silently, overhearing. Thanks for your efforts. In this world, awakened abilities have 5 mastery stages. In Korea, a place called Code Academy trains awakened, replacing traditional schools. After mastering the first class, one can choose a second based on environment and will. Dual class mastery earns rank 1 or higher recognition from the Awakened Association, a rare feat. Those with useless abilities or slow growth naturally seek peace in fitting roles. Kong Cheol muses, 6th class. In the final battle, I mastered my 6th. He thinks, no signs of a new class, so this is my limit. Khan rushes in, shouting, Moreau. Kong Cheol corrects, Kong Cheol. Khan continues, right, Kang Cheol. Something big happened. Holding Kyul, he boasts, Kyul spoke while chewing jerky. Kong Cheol asks, Kyul means orange in Korean? Khan clarifies, it's her name. Anyway, not important. Look, her ears are pretty tough. Switching to a sweet tone, he coos, Kyul, say Baba, sweetie. Kyul chirps, Kyul. Adorably, she beams, Baba ba. Kong Cheol covers his mouth, stunned, she talked. Kyul waves her arms, babbling, Baba ba. Kong Cheol hesitates. But that name's so Korean, isn't it? Khan says, she named herself Kyul. She was born here, after all. Khan pets Kyul as she boldly chants Baba. Khan brags, hear that? This dragon calls me Baba. Kong Cheol sighs, yeah, I heard. Stroking Kyul's head, he asks, they say dragons are born with a mastered class. What's Kyul's? Khan replies, I'm curious too. Yes, we'll wait till she grows. A voice calls from the door, boss. Khan, excited, glares outside. Kim Manho appears, dejected. Can I get 5 bowls of ramen now? Khan slumps, energy draining. How do I actually run a restaurant? Kim Manho sits, confiding in Kong Cheol, weary. He says, today, I tried joining a raging gate raid but ran into my daughter. He explains, she said helping heal the injured could earn her a scholarship. But it's dangerous. Sorrowfully, he adds, I couldn't even speak up or help. They told me to evacuate since I'm just a rank 7 awakened, basically a civilian. He continues about his daughter. Mijin awakened healing powers young, ranked 3rd. She's an honor student, so the association will treat her well. He recalls, that day I went to a clothing store. I stood outside forever. It's the girl you saw before. I went to her school for an open class. Tuition's steep. Holding the tie carefully, he says, I thought for her school, I should buy something. Turns out, I could only afford a tie. His voice grows sadder. Anyway, I figured I shouldn't attend. What's good about a father who can't even help his daughter graduate properly? Kim Manho's stomach growls. He covers his face, sobbing and laughing bitterly. Haha, even now, I'm hungry. Damn it. His voice breaks. I'm just a useless culinary awakened. Kong Cheol, arms crossed, listens silently. Kim Manho adds, but I still have to eat like this, hoping maybe I'll be called to a site where buildings collapsed from a gate explosion. Kong Cheol heads to the kitchen, calling Khan. Khan, simmering broth, turns. What? Kong Cheol teases, can I fatten you up? Khan jumps, cursing, you bastard. Waiting to pounce like a predator. Kong Cheol steps closer, kidding. His eyes flick to the table. Khan sighs, that's Kyul's shed skin. Seeing Kong Cheol stare, Khan asks, why are you eyeing it? I carefully collected it. Kong Cheol reaches for it. Khan yells, it's for keepsakes. Kong Cheol serves Kim Manho a jumbo Ataho ramen bowl, made with grilled Ataho and cane meat. Manho gasps from last time. Kong Cheol says, we had extra meat, enjoy. Khan, crouching in a corner, clutches his head, watching, heart aching, my collection. Manho chews rapidly, the only sound is gulping. He leaves a crumpled bill, standing. Thanks for today's meal. Bowing sincerely, thanks for listening. Kong Cheol, hands in pockets, says, No problem. Kang Cheol ponders, lost in thought. As Manho reaches the door, he calls, life's full of hardships. Manho nods, yeah, something easy would be nice. Kang Cheol advises, but for those who work hard, good things happen sometimes. Manho's eyes tear up. Kang Che breaks here. Cheol smiles, saying before he leaves, survive tomorrow. I'll be here as usual. Come back. Khan, holding Cheol, peeks out, nothing changed. Kang Cheol leans against the door. I helped as I could. He ate dragon shed skin, it'll help. Khan glares, that's precious. Why am? Kang Cheol, silent, strokes Cheol's head. My father had that posture too. Khan seizes the chance to jab. So you had a dad, huh? He earns a bump on the head from Kang Cheol's smack. Late at night, Kim Manho creeps into his apartment under moonlight. Mijin sleeps soundly. He approaches. On the table lies the morning's tie. He thinks Mijin picked it up. Mijin stirs, whispering, Dad, I'm sorry. He gently strokes her head. It's okay. I'm sorry too. Gazing at his beloved daughter, he thinks, I'm sorry I can't live like others, for embarrassing you, for not giving you an easy life. Sadly, he tucks her in, but I'll always love you. At dawn, as the sun rises, recruiters seek one last main striker. Kim Manho sprints, panting, volunteer. Over here. The recruiter checks his ID, show your awakened card. Manho hands it over. The recruiter exclaims, you're that guy from the hibernation zone incident. Dungeon Y, right? He advises, if that happens again, it'll be trouble. Though it's handled, that was a frenzied gate. Zenkaka took down the final bug, so this'll be fine. Do your best? Okay. Manho, worried, nods, yes. The recruiter waves, we're done. Assemble, let's move. That morning, Kang Cheol, groggy, descends the stairs, spotting a passing vehicle. He snaps awake, watching curiously. It's Zenkaku's transport. Kang Cheol muses, staring at its shadow. Things are getting bad. It's chaos out there. Kim Sanga frets, damn, what's the situation? Cheon replies quickly, the gate's closed. An announcement blares, per current info, only Mana Crystal Company's team, with rank 5 to 7 awakened, recruited at dawn, entered. Mijin, panicked, searches for her father after the news, shouting, Dad. Another voice reports, looks like a hidden boss appeared. People below the mystical gate grow anxious, some fearful. Mijin stares up, calling, Dad, Dad. Kim Manho steps onto the grassy field, beneath a vast blue sky framed by towering mountains and cascading waterfalls. He and his team venture deep into the sprawling forest. Let's go. They look up, awestruck by the expansive, mysterious landscape. Except for Tang Cha, clad in armor, striking a cool pose, glancing left. Wow. Suddenly, a dinosaur charges from behind Manho, jaws snapping to devour. Manho's expression doesn't falter, as if programmed. He swings a punch straight into its chest, dropping it instantly. The blow carries all his strength. At his feet, the forest's unluckiest dinosaur lies defeated. Staring at his hands, he feels a surge of energy. Feels light. I should be starving by now, but I'm fine. While Manho puzzles over this, the red-haired woman panics, her face darkening, staring at something emerging. What's that? The sky tears open with a massive rift, the world trembling violently. A colossal foot slams down, the force rippling the air. A gigantic, terrifying dinosaur, its mouth bristling with razor-sharp teeth capable of swallowing an adult in 2 bites, looms over them, hundreds of times larger than the 3. Its ferocious eyes lock onto the sky, brimming with dominance. Manho and his team freeze, shocked. Damn, a hidden boss. Manho's face pales, staring at the menacing creature. A hidden boss refers to a secret boss within a dungeon. The woman yells, fleeing, run. She seems to foresee the outcome of staying. Manho hesitates, watching. Hidden bosses typically appear when a rare dimensional rift opens. When they do, teams clearing smaller monsters often die. The dinosaur's icy gaze shifts to Manho, its golden eyes suffocating the space. Manho faces it, ignoring other shouts, recognizing Tigrex. The red-haired woman darts past, urging, it's coming. Move. Manho prepares to flee, but spots something on the dinosaur he felled. A shimmering red-purple-green crystal, rank 8, worth a week's wages on the market. He stares, torn. Despite his team's frantic escape, he thinks of his daughter's life. If I grab that crystal, I could buy Miji nice clothes, better food. Decision made, he lunges for it. His team shouts, you crazy? Move. Manho's hand nearly touches the glowing crystal, radiating a strange yellow-white light. Just this. Just need this. In a flash, the colossal beast charges, jaws wide to swallow him whole. Its maw could engulf prey without chewing. The situation turns dire, hopeless. Suddenly, Manhwa dodges the jaws, but his headbutt sent flying. Consciousness fades, his eyes blurry from the impact. A thought flickers. So this is what Mijin meant by pathetic. Even at the end, I'm foolish. Mijin's image floods his mind, vivid, from a young woman to a middle school girl, then a sleeping infant in his arms. Her voice echoes, Dad, I'm sorry. Manhwa snaps awake. I can't die like this. I can't leave Mijin alone in this world. Struggling to his feet, he faces the beast head-on. I'm telling you, I won't die here. The massive Tigrex stomps, shaking the forest, charging at him. Manhwa braces, shouting inwardly, no way. Like a protagonist's aura, fueled by family, he's supercharged. Veins bulge, eyes resolute, he roars, I can't die now. His fist, crackling with red lightning, slams into the dinosaur's jaws. The force turns the sky red, fiery energy surging around his hand. Nearby teammates are blown back, realizing he's ascended. Manhwa stares at his hands, wreathed in crimson power. The power of family is insane. Strange symbols appear on his hands. I stopped a hidden boss? No pain, no hunger. The dinosaur, unfazed, charges again with terrifying speed. For the first time, Manhwa blocks its head but barehanded. Teeth gritted, he stares into jaws larger than his body. The space seems to shatter from their clash. A lone human against a titanic beast, chillingly epic. The dinosaur's force intensifies, pushing Manhwa back despite his rooted stance. He grunts, eyes steadfast. I'm holding on. I'll endure. In the critical moment, a spear flashes. Kim Sang-gu, Manhwa's teammate, shouts, Manhwa. Over here. Manhwa struggles, nearly collapsing under the beast's overwhelming force. Sang-gu wonders, who is he? Holding off a rank, 2 Tigrex alone. The green lightning woman nearby, preparing a spell, nods, seems so. Sang-gu grins, watching Manhwa fight for survival. He's incredible. I should get his card. Manhwa's face strains, the opponent too formidable. Behind him, the ground is littered with shattered rocks. The system displays good alignment, Shikshin class, mid-level mastery, high potential. Sang-gu engages the beast, relieving Manhwa. He lands on the massive green dinosaur's back. It turns, eyes wild. Above, Kang Cheol observes, cloaked in purple light, likely a stealth ability. Shikshin absorbs and reflects attacks, often mistaken for DPS but actually tank-oriented. A unique DPS style. Arms crossed, he gazes down pensively. By Korea's awakened standards, it's solid, at least rank 3. Not everyone understands it. Below, Sang-gu finishes the beast, supporting Manhwa. They smile, relieved. It's over. Time to head back. The scene shifts. Kyul yawns adorably, radiating sunshine. Behind, Kang Cheol cooks a breakfast-lunch-dinner hybrid. Kyul sits by a radio broadcasting Setiman's third-raid team. Breaking news. The hidden dungeon boss Tigrex was defeated. Surprisingly, Kim Manhwa, a rank 7 awakened, played the biggest role. It continues, while single-handedly withstanding the boss's ultimate move, he ascended to rank 3 Shikshin, becoming the raid's key contributor. Kyul places a paw on a newspaper headlining Manhwa. Rank 7 awakened, the savior. The radio adds they nearly faced heavy losses due to the hidden boss, but thanks to Kim Manhwa's efforts. The Awakened Association admits a rank misjudgment, promising quick correction and a hefty reward. Kang Cheol lifts Kyul after finishing the meal. Reading the paper? You've gained weight. Ignoring his jab, Kyul flails in his arms. Baba, Baba. Her big blue eyes lock onto him. Kang Cheol sighs. I'm not your dad. Kyul's cute papa calls render him helpless. The radio shifts. Onto the next story. Kang Cheol perks up at news of a thief. Due to a recent petty thief plaguing Setiman, merchants are troubled. Citizens, stay vigilant. He sits by the radio, pensive. Kyul fumbles on the floor. He thinks, a thief obsessed with shiny things and food? Kyul holds a cup, approaching Papa, offering it with sparkling eyes, chirping, Wombo Wombo. Kang Cheol says gently, you want me to drink? As he raises it, Khan, rushing from the bathroom, stops him frantically. Kang Cheol's odd pose draws curious looks. Khan, face dark with fury, exudes menace. Don't drink that. Kang Cheol's puzzled. Khan explains, it's full of germs. Kang Cheol grunts, Khan continues, today, Kyul learned about wells from a comic. Wells are where people get drinking water. Kong Cheol's face darkens. Right? Into a kid. A toilet looks like a well. Choiju exclaims, wow. His face tomato red, likely from something delicious, chopsticks in hand. Boss, this carduji is amazing. New batch. A plate of red morsels, unclear if meat or some root, looks appetizing. The system shows 3 question marks by the dish's name. Kong Cheol replies, got good ingredients from Shinchin recently. As they talk, Manho's voice interrupts. Hey, boss. He enters with Kim Sang-gyu. Kong Cheol greets, welcome. Sang-gyu's surprised seeing Kong Cheol. Manho introduces, this is Captain Kim Sang-gyu. Sang-gyu says, heard a lot about you. Kong Cheol thinks he's surprisingly polite. Jiwoo stands, joining in, Lancer Mage, hello. Manho recognizes, right, the awakened association. Sang-gyu's face pales, near panic. Yes, hi. Nice afternoon, if not for the general meeting, it'd be perfect. Jiwoo chuckles, haha. Jaewa's attention shifts to Manho's warm smile. Oh, you're Shikshin, right? Kong Cheol surprised, Shikshin? Manho blushes as Jaewoo boasts, this is Shikshin Kim Manho, hero of the Shinchin dungeon boss fight. Man, his fame's global. Kong Cheol muses, so here, fame earns a title prefix. Manho smiles lightly, all thanks to the boss. Kong Cheol grins, no big deal, was waiting for you. He offers, ramen for 2 today? Sang-gyu sits upright. Manho pulls a chair. Yes, 1 for me. Sang-gyu adds, suddenly craving ramen. Same for me. Kong Cheol nods, serving. Here's your ramen. Sang-gyu's stunned by Manho's voracious eating. He lifts a bowl bigger than his head, slurping it clean, shocking Sang-gyu. All that at once? You're incredible. Manho, blushing, laughs. Ho-ho. Sang-gyu says, go ahead, you've got your daughter's school today, right? Manho, surprised, nods. Yes, I'll head out. Kong Cheol, reading a newspaper, eavesdrops. Sang-gyu adds, no worries, enjoy personal time after work. We're always on call, so rest when you can. Manho excuses himself. Seeing their lively chat, Kong Cheol reads on, thinking, they seem to get along well. Suddenly, he notices the silence. Too quiet? Turning, he sees Sang-gyu slumped, asleep, chopsticks in hand, chin propped. His striking, CEO-like face dreams away. A memory flashes. Sang-gyu, furious, grabbing a cloaked man's collar. Are you insane? Nothing better to mess with, so you touch a divine beast. A 9-tailed fox, fiery and noble, exudes dangerous power. Its presence panics the warriors below. The red-haired woman shouts to those far off as the fiery 9-tailed fox scorches the sky. Suddenly, it snaps its sharp jaws, tilts its head back, and roars with menacing force. The flame's intensity surges. Kim Sang-gyu, dozing at the table, mumbles, NGH, he jolts awake, seeing Kong Cheol lounging, engrossed in a newspaper, oblivious to the world. Sang-gyu's voice draws him. God, it's late. Sorry. Kong Cheol, icy and blunt, replies, no big deal, no customers anyway. Want a proper meal? Fresh from a nap and offered food. Sang-gyu should be thrilled, but he declines. I'm good. Don't have a sense of taste anyway. Mid-conversation, Sang-gyu glances at a nearby radio broadcasting. Due to recent rampant thieves, merchants are struggling, muttering. He suddenly asks, got any drinks? At the request, Kong Cheol sets the paper down, standing. Drinks, sure, but we've only got soju and beer. Sang-gyu, pushing his luck, says, soju? Bring whatever side dish you think's good. Kong Cheol rubs his chin, pondering, with today's market haul, what can I make? Got it. He turns to Sang-gyu, how about sashimi? For some reason, sashimi leaves Sang-gyu blank-faced, staring at Kong Cheol, sashimi. Seeing his confusion, Kong Cheol flashes a sly grin. 3 parts cunning, 7 parts amused. Yup. Got top-notch ingredients. With monsters spilling through dimensional rifts, a monster ear has hit the mainland. From nowhere, he pulls a vibrant box. The seas are no different. A large fish lands on the cutting board, its shimmering body promising a delicious dish. Fish common on Earth 30 years ago are rare now. Monster fish with similar flavors are caught instead. The fish, dead on the board, mouth agape, reveals short, sharp teeth. Kong Cheol muses, this is a German fish. Adults reach 3 meters. This one's a juvenile. He leans in, wielding a gleaming knife, slicing with precision like a pro chef, unfazed by the risk of nicking himself. Tastes like white fish, akin to sea bass or flounder. He sections the fish, placing slices on a chilled stone bowl for firmer, crisper texture. Multitasking, he thinks. I used to skip sashimi, felt overpriced, low value. But once I tasted it, nothing compares. The German fish sashimi is elegantly plated, served to Sangyu. The dish isn't just fish, but surrounded by sides, elevating its sophistication. There's chili sauce, soy, and a dab of wasabi. Kang Cheol says, it's ready. Try the angel hair radish underneath, too. Sangyu picks up chopsticks, grabs a sauce-dipped slice, stares, muttering, been ages since I ate this. He pops it in, exclaiming, slurp. Wakes you up. He straightens, eyes wide, brows raised, as if a school of German fish swims behind him. Fresh, light, with the radish's delicate flavor. All fatigue gone. Kang Cheol would be thrilled if he knew his sashimi earned such praise. Sangyu grabs another slice, chugging soju like it's a race. If you sip soju before the sashimi slides down, he downs the glass, squinting, letting out a long, like a sneaky drunk, slurp. Facing Kang Cheol, he sighs, finally, I feel rested for the first time this week. Sensing his melancholy, Kang Cheol smiles, asking, yeah? Two simple words hit the mark, unleashing Sangyu's floodgate. He grabs more sashimi, saying, exactly. Emergency's handled, so I've got 2 days off. First break in 2 years, though half a day's gone. Sangyu's voice rises, paired with images of him wielding a spear amid dozens of monstrous dinosaurs, single-handedly clearing them. Non-stop fighting's mentally draining. Monsters keep pouring from rifts, cows, pigs, chickens, all sizes, no break. Mid-rant, he eyes a spear, smirking 3 parts smug, 7 parts proud. This is my personal weapon, issued to rank 2 awakened and above at Seer Academy graduation. Kang Cheol glances at it. You're still on Sangyu's boast, made from adamantium or great mana absorption. Sangyu continues, I was proud graduating with honors, thinking I'd save the world with this spear, fearless. But reality crushed that pride. An image of Sangyu, alone with his spear amid a Russian crowd, surfaces. Didn't take long to realize I'm tiny in this vast world, against expectations. He stretches, trembling, complaining. Been at Sediman's base for 10 years, tough. Hearing the long tale, Kang Cheol stays stone-faced, thinking, yeah, I've been there. His memories flash. Kang Cheol kneels amid ruins, sword stabbed into the ground. The scene shifts to a modern, tidy room. He muses, not just awakened. Everyone's like that. On those days, you just laugh bitterly and sip soju. Sangyu grabs the soju bottle, pouring another full glass. Kang Cheol prods, aren't you one of Korea's 5 guardians? Sediman's protector? Impressive. Instead of pride or shyness, Sangyu deflates, really. Staring at his reflection in the glass, he grumbles, lives, hopes, futures depend on me. It's overwhelming. Stress, clearly. Rain pours outside. In the eatery, only Sangyu sips soju, eyes closed. Kang Cheol asks, got any memories on your mind? Sangyu sets the glass down, hand on the table, casual, of course. He counters, know the nine-tailed fox? Heavy rain falls. Sangyu recalls the past, launching into a tragic saga like a thesis. It was pouring, a deluge. He and his team sprint through a cracked, muddy road, cars strewn chaotically. Sangyu curses, damn, what idiot messed with a sleeping nine-tailed fox? A teammate replies, the gentleman. Sangyu, annoyed, glances back, face scrunched. Why would a rank 2 do that? Soaked under the rain, he stands. The massive nine-tailed fox looms over the city, its tails like fiery wisps. Birds circle above, adding to its majesty. A teammate says, we're looking into it. Back to reality, Sangyu faces Kang Cheol, rambling. Highly intelligent beings like the nine-tailed fox are divine beasts. Many types, often deemed infinite, meaning leave them alone. In 30 years, no records of their attacks. They claim territories, live solitary, hard to find. But someone provoked it. Recalling that rainy day, Sangyu stood behind a mysterious man in a long coat and hat, an eagle perched on his shoulder. Sangyu rushed up, grabbing his shoulder, irritated. Hey, gentleman, what the hell did you do? The man turned, face ashen, rattled. Sangyu faltered. What's wrong? Before finishing, a teammate approached, eyes wide, shouting, Captain. Nine-tailed fox. A fox, 2 trucks large with 9 fiery tails, appeared, its eyes like headlights, jaws bearing sharp teeth. To its gaze, Sangyu was a speck. He yelled, form ranks. It's an infinite nine-tailed fox. He rallied a crowd, still panicking. In the rain, he fought the fire-spitting fox, barking orders. Vanguard. Advance. I'm with you. I'll lead. Screaming, Sangha charged the enraged fox, face twisted like a dried persimmon. The fox poised for battle. Suddenly, among its tails, a red orb of magic formed, drawing power for an attack. As expected, the fox unleashed countless fireballs on the city. Sangu's team saw only crimson and gold. Abruptly, they froze, weapons lowered, halting. At the critical moment, Sangu's eyes burned, hurling a fireball back. Warning, damn it. Don't stare at the flames, you'll hallucinate. A female teammate shouted, Captain, it's coming. She slammed her shield down, deflecting a fireball aimed at her and Sangu, using magic to block. One hand on her shield, the other summoned a magic circle, like in fairy tale. Muttering cryptic words, dozens of magical shields floated, encircling the fox. Enraged, it glared at Sangu and his team. Sangu, grimacing, gripped his magic spear, pointing forward, ready. His teammate called, Captain. Swift as a squirrel, Sangu leaped onto the floating shields, darting like Sonic to the fox's face. Face dark, he roared. Die quietly. He raised his spear, aiming for its throat. The fox's eyes rolled white, startling Sangu, who froze, brows knitted. The fox took a critical hit, face ashen, but still bared its teeth. The ray dragged through the night. Back to reality, Sangu holds his soju, head bowed, muttering. Finally, amid the cheers, I heard crying. Nestled in the fox's soft, warm tails was a tiny cub, eyes closed, sleeping peacefully, cute as a puppy. Seeing it, Sangu's face darkened. A cub? Closing his eyes, he sipped soju, saying, the gentleman's eagle hunted the cub while the mother was away. Predator instincts targeted the weak. He chugs, slurring, must have been a mistake. He stood out at Seer Academy but still screwed up. Finishing, he sets the glass down, face grim, resolute. We can't make such mistakes. Kang Cheol asks, a cub? Sangha turns, yeah, sadly, we killed it. He rubs his neck, wincing, no choice by then. That's how the nine-tailed fox incident ended. Media covered it, radio, papers, 2 years ago. Kang Cheol, unfazed, says, sounds like the right call. Chulso leapt, what? You sold it to me for 350. NPC scamming me. A yellow exclamation mark lit up above Humphrey's head. Chulso noticed. By the way, what's that exclamation mark? Humphrey replied vaguely. Not here. Suddenly, he rummaged frantically. I can't find it. Chulso frowned. What's he doing? Humphrey grabbed a knife and chisel, agitated. My hammer's gone. Without it, I can't forge anything. Chulso eyed 3 hammers on the table. But you've got more than one hammer? Humphrey kept searching. Not the same. I need my hammer. Grabbing another, he demanded. It's in the underground trade route dungeon, at the village entrance. Go get it. System, quest assigned, Humphrey's trouble. Retrieve Humphrey's forging hammer. Reward, permission to process materials for armor forging. Chulso realized. The exclamation mark means a quest. I get to process materials for armor. Then he recalled past rewards. Wait, so the materials from the hidden boss were that valuable? That's why they're so pricey. Materials, triple crushed steel X3, high purity steel X1. If I can process them into gear now. Chulso grew excited. You said underground trade route, right? System, Humphrey's trouble. Quest accepted. Heading to the dungeon entrance, he mused. No need to worry about others. Party members, just hold me back. Chulso was thrilled. I'll breeze through this dungeon. In under 30 minutes, Humphrey's shout rang out. What are you standing there for, you idiot? Chulso flinched, turning slowly. System, quest condition. Humphrey barked. Go get my hammer now. Intro text blared. Sharp-tongued NPC Humphrey. Level 13 warrior. Quest fails if Humphrey dies. Chulso wailed. Why the hell are you? A clawed foot with sharp talons steps closer. It belongs to a 3-tailed fox. Emerging, it lets out a soft cry. A flicker of pity crosses Kim Sanga's face. He thinks, I can't kill it. Back then, I couldn't either. He recalls the tiny fox, unconscious in the rain, looking pitiful. The fox's eyes gleamed in the dark, delighted by the food he left. Sangha muses, maybe its desperate eyes at death's door stopped me from killing it. Propping his chin, he looks up, sighing wearily. As the fox eagerly munches the food, he mutters, I'm no guardian, not at all. He wonders, how many mana crystals did you steal to grow 3 tails? It's in the news, you know. The fox leaps down from a height. its expression resolute, large eyes serious. Senga lifts it, inspecting closely. Its body emits a strange red aura, eyes fierce, mouth slightly open, revealing tiny sharp fangs. Senga growls, "Listen up." His face tightens, stern and worried. "I can't ignore this anymore. The association's about to act. Leave the city, find a quiet place, live peacefully." Without hesitation, he tosses it away. "Go." Now, Sengu grits his teeth, eyes shut, shouting as the fox yelps. His face softens briefly. Under the night sky, lit only by moonlight, he whispers, "Hurry." The fox scrambles onto high rooftops, but pauses at a sound. It's Kyul, face pressed against a window. Kyul opens it, inviting the fox in. The fox playfully nuzzles Kyul's cheek, but suddenly its eyes widen, freezing, appearing soft and harmless. Kong Cheol enters, seeing the creatures play happily. The fox, hearing him, instinctively hides behind the door. Kong Cheol's eyes narrow, unsurprised. "So it's you." He lifts Kyul, asking the fox gently. "No wonder I sensed fox aura from the hillside. Hungry?" He raises a finger, emitting a purple-black glow of power. "Seems you've found something." Kasim appears, hand on chest, bowing. "Greetings, Sir Kong Cheol. What summons me?" Kong Cheol eyes the fox, saying, "A fox cub, right?" Kasim nods, "Yes." Kong Cheol orders, "Grab any mana crystal from there." Kasim hands over a large one. "Here, sir." Kong Cheol tosses the crystal to the fox. A rank, 1 mana crystal, should help it grow. As the fox's fangs bite into it, the crystal releases potent energy, surging through its body. Kong Cheol opens the door, softly. "Now go." Kyul waves from the room. The fox pauses at a lamppost, looking down from above. A thought crosses its mind. Soft creatures harm no one. Even if you pointed a spear at me, I know you're kind. But we won't meet again, will we? Its eyes glisten, gazing into the distance. Senga lies back, staring at the night sky. The city, no longer vibrant, is quiet and dark. In such a place, a fox's flame would shine brilliantly. He silently urges, "Don't come back." Elsewhere, the fox lets out a few cries to the serene moon. "Live well." Sung Jong-san, Korea's Awakened Association, handles registration, ability verification, civilian damage prevention, recovery, patrols, and more. 5 rank, 2 awakened. Ice Witch Chaein Kim, Spear Knight Kim Sangu, the Gentleman, Sword Queen, and Mage are designated guardians, alongside 3 rank, 1 awakened on special missions. Association President Eugene Su stands by a window, sternly. "Chaein, it's hot." Ice Witch Chaein Kim replies, "Naturally, it's summer. Shall I make some snow?" Jinsu declines. "No, summer should be hot." He asks, "The Mandragoras vanished?" Chaein's face darkens. "Yes. Mandragoras, rigid carrot-like plant monsters, burrow underground. When threatened, they release poison, requiring specific antidotes. Even with antidotes, uprooting and killing them triggers a scream that can instantly kill low-rank awakened or civilians. They spread seeds, so extreme caution is needed." She reports, 13 Mandragoras disappeared without a trace. "It's odd. Only possible if they vanished themselves." Jinsu laughs. "Since when do carrots grow legs?" Chaein, exasperated by his jest, says, "Otherwise, they melted away." Jinsu replies, "Too hot out, come inside. I'll call Gabby, discuss with her." Chaein asks, "Gabby as in Shadowcat Gabby?" "She's back." Jinsu nods, "Returned last night, awaiting orders. I'll have her investigate first." Chaein, "Understood, thank you." Scene shifts. Hyul stretches, waking groggily, scampering to Kong Cheol, fast asleep. Sunlight streams in, annoying him as he tosses. Hyul gently pats his head, accidentally waking him. She grins widely. Her stomach growls loudly. Hyul drags a chair twice her size to the fridge, leaps up, and reaches the door. Opening it, she finds a withered carrot-like plant, trembling, resembling an old man's face. Suddenly, it shrieks. Hyul, puzzled, nibbles it, then spits it out, inedible. Kong Cheol peeks in, exasperated. "This kid." Seeing Hyul sleep soundly, he fumes. When she wakes, she's getting a scolding. Khan wonders, did she eat it all? Kong Cheol lifts Hyul. "Weird, but seems so. This kid's something." He asks, Where have you been lately? Vanished. Khan replies, studying dimensional rift formation, visiting past rift sites. Kang Cheol teases, diligent, huh? Find anything? Khan, sheepish. Nothing, just common continental monsters. That catches Kang Cheol's attention. Monsters? You're not one, right? Khan snaps. Dragons are noble. How dare you compare me to them? Kang Cheol smirks, thinking, so, dragons, or worse, could emerge from rifts. Did I overlook this? He says, report anything odd during your research. Khan agrees, sure. Khan asks, Kang Cheol, you're a 6th stage master. Can't you control rifts? Kang Cheol brushes it off. No, I don't even know who makes them or why. Khan presses, then how do you return to this world? Kang Cheol replies, long story. Decades since defeating the Demon King. I'll tell you sometime. Khan deal. Kang Cheol says, let's get food. The sky's clear. A voice declares, summer calls for that dish. In Sinchen's outskirts, Chaein Kim steps down, surveying, no traces. Suddenly, a green energy streak zips overhead. She sighs, they sent me here for this. Watching the energy move, she channels power. A hand touches her cheek, startling her. A woman smiles, teasing, you're Sinchen's ice witch, huh? The girl was Muon Li Bahi. She spoke slowly. I've scouted the area, and there's no trace of any clues. Chaein Kim, regaining her composure, stammered a greeting. Hello, Miss Muon. Before she could finish, Li Bahi interrupted. Just call me sister. You seem quite likable. Are you a rookie? Chaein Kim nodded slightly, replying, yes, that's right. My title at Seer Academy is Li Bahi cut in again. All right, no need to be so tense. How long have you been in this line of work? Chaein Kim answered promptly. A full decade. Li Bahi nodded approvingly. Not bad. But Chaein Kim couldn't take the praise to heart, as she'd passed by the fenced-off area and noticed nothing unusual. Asterisk, is she really a one-star awakened? Plus, according to Seer Academy, someone trained like that would have been a top agent 30 years ago. Why does she look so young? Asterisk, at that moment, Li Bahi began introductions. I've met guards a few times before, but you're new, right? Nice to meet you. I'm Muon Li Bahi. Chaein Kim shook her hand, saying, I'm Chaein Kim. Li Bahi nodded, asking curiously, what's the situation now? Chaein Kim replied calmly. When the gate explosion incident ended, 13 Mandragoras vanished. However, there's no sign of intrusion or even combat. Yeah, I noticed that too, Li Bahi agreed. But looking at the barrier in the air, she asked skeptically, so who broke the barrier? Chaein Kim quickly answered, that was a 4-star awakened from our team. Hearing this, Li Bahi frowned, muttering, if they broke a 4-star barrier without leaving traces, they must be at least 3-star. Where's the biggest mercenary group around here? Chaein Kim replied instantly, the temple team in Samzeon. Li Bahi nodded, suggesting, let's head there first. I'm hungry, so we'll grab food too. And we'll meet that kid who always picks fights with me. Tell him to treat us to meat. Kim Sangyu, on duty outside, suddenly felt his ears itch, certain someone was talking about him. Elsewhere, at Kang Cheol's eatery, Khan was playing with Kyul. The dragon siblings were noisy in the restaurant, with Khan constantly praising Kyul's cuteness. Kang Cheol, watching nearby, was speechless, thinking about this sister-obsessed guy. While playing with Kyul, Khan suddenly flinched, looking up at Kang Cheol, angrily demanding, how long have you been watching? Kang Cheol replied nonchalantly, the whole time. This irritated Khan. Seeing Khan's expression, Kang Cheol couldn't help but question, I don't see anything wrong with doting on your little sister. Khan stayed silent. Kang Cheol didn't press, coldly ordering, fill that big pot with water. Khan noticed something in Kang Cheol's hand, asking curiously, what's that? Kang Cheol explained slowly, this is called a watermelon. Haven't you seen one on the continent? Khan scoffed, first time. Is the red part edible? Ignoring the watermelon, Khan looked at a plucked creature, asking, and what's that doing here? Kang Cheol explained, this is a common livestock in this world, called a chicken. Khan huffed angrily, come on, I know what a chicken is. Kang Cheol ignored him, pulling a mandragora from the fridge, startling Khan, who asked, where'd you get a mandragora? Kang Cheol replied casually, I was out walking and saw it, so I pulled it up. Khan asked, shocked, Isn't that something you shouldn't just yank out? Kang Cheol didn't answer, continuing. These absorb heat and cool the body. They're crisp and sweet, perfect for cold or hot dishes. Today, I'm making a dish ideal for hot weather with these. With that, Kang Cheol began preparing the chicken. Khan watched, skeptically asking, "Why do you keep stuffing things inside the chicken?" Kang Cheol replied calmly, "Sticky rice, garlic, mandragora, green onions. Just wait a bit, and the samjitang will be ready." At that moment, someone entered, a man's voice accompanied by a woman's exclamation. "Wow, there's a place like this here?" Kang Cheol looked toward the door, recognizing the man as Kim Sang-gu, with two unfamiliar women. They exchanged polite greetings. Kim Sang-gu spoke, "I've got a big group today. Are you the staff here?" Kang Cheol replied casually, "Customers are always welcome. I'm one of the chefs. I just finished a samjitang. Want to try it?" Kim Sang-gu answered instantly, "Isn't that made with chicken?" It's been a while since I had chicken. The two women were startled by the dish. Lee Bahi leaned in, saying, "Sorry, I'm vegetarian." Kang Cheol frowned, thinking he couldn't let guests go without food. Moments later, he served the samjitang. Kim Sang-gu and Chae Kim's eyes lit up. Chae Kim couldn't resist taking a big bite, and Kim Sang-gu dug in too. Both praised it. Delicious. This kimchi is the crispiest and most refreshing I've ever tasted. Amazing. Lee Bahi watched them devour it, her eyes curious, thinking it must really be good. Kang Cheol appeared, asking, "Miss, you're vegetarian, right?" Lee Bahi looked up, replying, "Yes. Can you make vegetarian dishes?" Kang Cheol shook his head. "I'm not great at it, but I happen to have a watermelon. Want to try it?" Lee Bahi's eyes sparkled, exclaiming, "Please." Watermelons great sliced and frozen or blended into a smoothie. Today, Kang Cheol tried something different. He took the watermelon's red flesh, cut it into bite-sized pieces, and added chopped strawberries and kiwi. He skillfully handled the watermelon, then poured in Sprite. Soon, he presented a vibrant fruit platter. Chae Kim licked her lips, snapping her fingers, dropping small ice cubes into the dish. Seeing this, Kang Cheol exclaimed, "You're a special ability user." Kim Sang-gu explained slowly, "She's the frost mage protecting Sinshin." Chae Kim, eating, looked up, protesting, "I don't like that title much. I'm not fond of honorifics before my name." At Seer Academy, an annual life or death battle event took place. Chae Kim once fell into an enemy trap, exposing all her techniques. She tried to stay calm, but it was a major blunder. At this point, she sighed helplessly. Kang Cheol listened quietly, saying nothing, as if all sorts of important figures kept appearing. He glanced at Lee Bahi at the table. From the moment they arrived, she gave off a bodyguard vibe, maybe even stronger. Plus, she was stunningly beautiful, the first time Kang Cheol saw such looks since the continent. Lee Bahi, oblivious to his gaze, ate her fruit, praising, "Thanks for the great meal." Her beauty was overwhelming. Soon, Kim Sang-gu's group left. Khan continued washing dishes, exclaiming, "That girl who just left? She's gorgeous." Kang Cheol, nearby, nodded casually. Khan kept raving about Lee Bahi's beauty. "So stunning. She doesn't even seem human." Kang Cheol explained calmly, "Exactly, she's an elf." Khan asked skeptically, "How do you know?" Kang Cheol replied, "I used my inspection skill to check her info after they left." Khan remained doubtful, asking, "Even if that's true, how could you tell?" Kang Cheol said casually, "I confirmed she has divine speed, something only elves have." Khan frowned, "But elves usually have pointed ears, right? You think she noticed us?" Kang Cheol shook his head. "No, she lacks magic detection. It's not just gate monsters. Other races might have adapted to Earth, or someone's hiding their true form." Kang Cheol suddenly called Khan, startling him. But he just put on an apron, saying, "I'll make something unique to eat." Khan calmed down, asking, "How can I help?" Kang Cheol casually ordered, "Grab a spoon. Let's make watermelon juice." Meanwhile, Kim Sang-gu's group emerged from a building, exhausted from their investigation, which turned out to be a false lead. Kim Sang-gu trailed behind, saying gravely, "Should we consider the possibility that mandragoras vanished as part of a new ecological cycle?" Lee Bahi, annoyed, snapped, "Who's this kid? What's he blabbering about?" Kim Sang-gu, unfazed, continued calmly. I'm not saying it's nonsense, but with no evidence, witnesses, or victims who'd randomly uproot Mandragoras. Does that make sense? Che and Kim nodded in agreement. If even a one-star awakened like Mew on Li Bahi found nothing, the answer must lie in an unexpected direction, Kim Sanga suddenly said. Who knows? Maybe someone ate them all. Didn't you just eat one, mage? But Li Bahi dismissed it. There's definitely something suspicious. No evidence now, but something's going on in this city. With that, Li Bahi said seriously, all right, I'll report to the higher-ups and hand it to the research team. Even the temple mercenary team in Samzeon showed up, but she got no useful info, just shocking news. They said Temple's old man Taeyong was retiring. This darkened Kim Sanga's expression, his mood visibly sour. In a city corner, a man lit a cigarette, gazing at the twinkling starry sky, no different from his old homelands. The world's landscapes kept changing. Buildings replaced trees, asphalt covered grass. Lands once fragrant with flowers were now battlegrounds stained with monster blood. This man was Temple's leader, Taeyong. Exhausted, he looked down, roaring, ensure the survivors' safety. In this case. As he spoke, the awakened below shouted in unison. In this case. The next day, as usual, Kang Cheol opened his restaurant and sat leisurely reading the newspaper. A moment later, Kaiul ran out from the back room, pawing at his leg with her claws. He looked down, smiling, and asked, Up already? Then, Kang Cheol scooped Kaiul into his arms and began teaching her to read. Whatever he said, Kaiul mimicked exactly, her voice adorably childish. Soon, her stomach growled a few times. She glanced at him, clearly signaling she was hungry. Kang Cheol nodded but hesitated, unsure what to make for breakfast. It was the same every day, always pondering what to eat. If you're going to eat, it should be something delicious. Life's short, with only 3 meals a day to enjoy good food. But thinking of Kaiul in his arms, he playfully pinched her cheek, teasing, Well, for you, life can't exactly be called short. He decided, all right, let's go with plain rice. Mixed grain rice is healthier, but the effect's negligible for the body, and it's not my taste. With that, Kang Cheol set Kaiul down, instructing, Go wake your brother, but gently, okay? Kaiul obediently scampered to where Khan was sleeping like the dead. She gleefully leaped into the air, and the room echoed with a piercing scream. Kang Cheol, outside, sighed helplessly. Despite his warning, it was always like this. Moments later, breakfast was ready. Today's menu was rice mixed with vegetables and bento eggs. Khan's eyes lit up at the sight. Kang Cheol ordered, Stir it quickly. Khan didn't hesitate, grabbing a spoon and mixing the rice. Soon, it was perfectly blended. They began eating breakfast, the scene resembling a cozy family of 3, peaceful and warm. After a while, a large bowl of rice was polished off, but Kaiul fell asleep right after eating. Kang Cheol, concerned, said, Khan, she's been acting odd lately, just eating and sleeping. Is something wrong? Khan hesitated before replying. She's 3 months old now. At this age, you start seeing what class she belongs to. It's part of the process, so eating and sleeping a lot is normal. Hearing this, Kang Cheol frowned thoughtfully. So you can tell what class she was born into? That's interesting. Just then, someone entered. Kang Cheol looked up. It was Kim Manhwa. As he stepped in, he caught the aroma. Kang Cheol spoke slowly. I just made rice. Want to try some? Kim Manhwa nodded slightly. Sure, but I'll order ramen too. And if possible. Before he could finish, Kang Cheol smiled. Cold rice is even better. Kim Manhwa agreed. True, ramen pairs great with cold rice. But as he spoke, he spotted something in the newspaper and froze. Lately, the biggest news was the head of temple preparing to retire. Moments later, Kim Manhwa exclaimed in Kang Cheol's restaurant. My gosh, this kimchi is amazing. Kang Cheol brought out ramen, rice, and radish kimchi. Everything was top-notch, and Kim Manhwa ate with delight. Just then, Choi Jae-woo pushed the door open, smiling. Morning, boss. Morning, Kim Manhwa. Choi Jae-woo continued. Kim Manhwa, hearing this, greeted politely. Hey, here to eat too? Choi Jae-woo shook his head. No time to eat, just stopped by to say hi. Kang Cheol said sincerely. I see, you've been working hard. Must be hot out there. It's summer. Thanks. but I can handle it. Choi Jae-woo chuckled, joking. Maybe my stamina's better because I've been eating here lately? Kang Cheol laughed inwardly. That's thanks to the mandragora. Suddenly, Choi Jae-woo asked, by the way, Kim Sang-has been stressed lately, huh? Kim Manho sighed. Yeah, our team leader's really on edge. Worried Kang Cheol wouldn't understand, he explained. Have you heard about the temple team? They say Captain Taejung's retiring, so everyone's on high alert. Kang Cheol, surprised, sighed. Retiring? That's a shame. Kim Manho, full of regret, said, yeah, he's a leader we deeply respect. Seeing his expression, Kang Cheol asked curiously, what's the story? Kim Manho startled, explaining, 10 years ago, during the monster attack on Samseon. You could call it a great invasion. That was Kim Sang-ha's first year as leader. Kang Cheol was shocked. Back then, 4 of Seoul's 5 guardians died stopping the monster invasion. Though classified as a 3-star awakened, Taejung's abilities far exceeded that level. He was a born leader, a battlefield commander, especially during the Great Invasion a decade ago. He was the savior of the people here. Many owed their lives to Taejung, earning him immense admiration and respect. Even Yu Jinsu felt the same. He sighed. I knew this day would come, but before he could finish, a knock sounded. Yu Jinsu called, come in. It was Taejung. He nodded, greeting, long time no see, chairman. Yu Jinsu wasn't too surprised. Inviting Taejung to sit, Yu Jinsu sipped tea and asked, are you really retiring? Taejung replied calmly, of course. Yu Jinsu pressed, why? Taejung answered coolly, because it's time. But this dissatisfied Yu Jinsu. He demanded heatedly, don't you feel any regret? You built the temple team from scratch. Yu Jinsu had witnessed all of Taejung's struggles since he arrived in Seoul. Hearing this, Taejung set his teacup down, his voice grave. Listen closely, chairman. He looked at Yu Jinsu, his tone deadly serious. Nothing in this world can be done alone. Everyone contributes to the world we live in today. You and I included. Taejung believed others would keep fighting for this world in the future. He was tired and wanted to lay down the heavy burden on his shoulders. With that, Taejung bid farewell, leaving Yu Jinsu stunned in the room. After a long pause, he sighed regretfully. Kim Sang-gu must be heartbroken. Taejung had chosen his successor, Kang Hyuk, a talented 3-star awakened, just turned 30, with potential to reach 2-star. Meanwhile, after leaving Yu Jinsu's room, Taejung wandered aimlessly, looking up at the sky, muttering, what a great day. Suddenly, a teasing voice called from behind. What's so great? Getting senile already. Taejung turned to see Kim Sang-gu leaning against a wall across the street, next to a sleek motorcycle. Elsewhere, at Kang Cheol's restaurant, he focused on cooking. Mid-task, a customer arrived with a low voice. I don't recall a place like this here. Kang Cheol looked up. It was Kim Sang-gu and Taejung. Kim Sang-gu asked, hey, what's on the menu today? Kang Cheol replied casually, home-style dishes. Kim Sang-gu glanced at Taejung, asking, home-style, huh? What do you think, old friend? Kang Cheol observed Taejung, noting he looked like a veteran, about his age. Taejung followed Kim Sang-gu inside and sat. Worried they'd wait long, Kang Cheol said, this dish takes a bit. Are you too busy? Taejung shook his head. Not anymore. Take your time. Kang Cheol nodded and resumed cooking. Suddenly, Kim Sang-gu spoke. I'm just showing him around, so only my old friend's eating. I'll head out, still busy. With that, he left. Taejung watched Kim Sang-gu's retreating figure, sighing, sorry about him. That kid still hasn't grown up. Kang Cheol shook his head. No need to say that. He's a guardian, after all. Taejung chuckled, his tone like a father's. When did that kid get so big? Unconsciously, he pulled out a cigarette, but, realizing he was in a restaurant, asked, can I smoke here? Kang Cheol shook his head. It's fine, as long as no other customers are around. Go ahead. Taejung smoked while waiting. Soon, the aroma from Kang Cheol's simmering pot wafted over. He couldn't help but exclaim, smells amazing. Kang Cheol, startled, looked at him puzzled. Taejung quickly explained, I mean the fresh-cooked rice smell. It's been ages since I smelled this. It's nostalgic. Hearing this, Kang Cheol frowned slightly, pensive. Nostalgia, huh? Everyone's got something to miss. He decided, I'll make that dish this time. Doenjang jjigae. Each household has its own recipe, so flavors vary. Kong Cheol kept it rustic yet rich, simmering soybean paste and vegetables for hours without broth. The flavor was less intense but thick and hearty, with a warm, pungent aroma. He also made bento eggs and grilled fish. Soon, a steaming Korean meal was ready. Seeing the full spread, Taeyong was stunned. He tried the doenjang jjigae first. As the broth melted on his tongue, his eyes widened in awe. Then, he scooped a spoonful of white rice, praising, "This is delicious, just like my mom's cooking back home." It's been nearly 30 years, so the memory's a bit faint. Back then, Taeyong had come to Seoul to make his way. Kong Cheol, standing nearby, remarked, "It's been a long time, hasn't it?" Taeyong nodded, his voice tinged with sorrow. "Yeah, looking back, it's been ages. Time flies, like it all happened in a blink. I used to think I'd return home soon. Back then, everyone flocked to Seoul, all struggling to survive." Taeyong never forgot the mass evacuation era 30 years ago and the Great Invasion a decade ago. At this point, Taeyong looked up at Kong Cheol, sighing. That's right, it was the time of the massive evacuation. 30 years ago, when monsters began appearing, countless nations and cities were completely destroyed. So many lost their lives to them. Back then, facing danger in his hometown, Taeyong stumbled upon a sword. Thanks to it, he realized he had become an awakened. My physical strength improved significantly too. So, Taeyong rallied all the awakened in his hometown to head to Seoul and build a legacy. At the time, he believed that if the strong united, they could protect everyone. That was the origin of the force called Temple. As awakened joined forces, people began gathering, cities were gradually rebuilt, the world slowly recovered, and the Guardian system was established. Yeah, though it's still called Korea, Korea now is just centered around downtown Seoul. As people adapted to this new world, an event occurred 10 years ago, the day a B-rank monster attacked the city, the Great Monster Invasion. Kim Sang-gu was there during that battle, but the monster was too powerful for him to handle. If it continued, Kim Sang-gu would surely have died. Clutching his spear, he refused to give in to death. But at that critical moment, a man appeared, wielding a sword. He slew the monster in a single strike, then extended a bloodied hand to Kim Sang-gu, saying, "Get up, kid. You must be terrified." Kim Sang-gu stared at the blood-stained hand, his emotions still unsteady. The man continued, "You're scared and might want to run." That was Taeyong, his presence 10 years ago already commanding, one eye injured, yet he earnestly advised, "But right now, you must step forward. If you retreat now, you might spend your life always backing down. What's your name?" Only then did Kim Sang-gu dare grasp Taejong's hand, slowly replying, "My name is Kim Sang-gu." Hearing the name, Taeyong immediately recognized him. "Oh, you're the new guardian, right?" Kim Sang-gu nodded. "Yes, sir." Taeyong squinted at him, the sword in his hand starting to gather energy. He spoke slowly. "Watch closely, young guardian." As he finished, Taeyong swung his sword at an approaching monster, felling it in one strike. Without pause, he slashed again, cleaving another in half. By the battle's end, Taeyong was covered in wounds, his arms stained red with blood, but he still smiled, looking at Kim Sang-gu and saying, "This is the path we've carved." Kim Sang-gu was stunned, unsure how to respond. Those memories remained etched deep in his heart. Now, returning to this place, looking down at the city from above, Kim Sang-gu sighed. "This place is so peaceful, old man." With that, he turned and ran, spear in hand. He refused to let any monsters appear here. This place must stay safe, because it's where he walked, where he can rest in peace. For now, that was all Kim Sang-gu could do to repay the man who saved his life. But the more he thought, the more his heart ached. Tears fell, and Kim Sang-gu dropped to his knees, sobbing, "Damn it. Why isn't there a single monster here? I've got nothing left to do for him." In the quiet night, someone silently grieved for the man he revered, unnoticed by anyone. Elsewhere, at Kong Cheol's restaurant, after hearing the story, Kong Cheol suddenly asked, "Do you have any regrets?" Taeyong stubbed out his cigarette, sighing, "I regret things every day. Me and the entire temple team always had to act to save someone, anyone, so they wouldn't die, or at least so people could survive day by day. We couldn't afford mistakes. Even a small error could cost someone's life. One person could be the hope for others." Hearing this, Kang Cheol realized Kim Sang-gu had matured far beyond his years, learning from this man. Anyone would tire out from being demanded so much. Despite such exhaustion, Tae-young had raised an outstanding next generation, truly admirable. With that, Kang Cheol asked, "Heading back to your hometown?" Tae-young replied casually, "Yeah." Kang Cheol squinted at him. He understood what Tae-young had been through, living for others, much like Kang Cheol had in that other world. Tae-young stood, asking, "How much, boss?" Kang Cheol replied nonchalantly, "It's all free. Our restaurant often waives the bill for folks heading home." Tae-young froze, then chuckled. What a weird place. Kang Cheol said nothing, just smiled at him. With that, Tae-young didn't say more and turned to leave. At the door, he paused, saying earnestly, "Thanks for the meal. I'm leaving that kid in your care from now on." Kang Cheol smiled lightly. He's already an excellent guardian. This stunned Tae-young. After a moment, he sighed. Yeah, that kid's truly a great guardian. I see Kim Sang-gu as my own son, so I hope you'll look out for him. With that, Tae-young gave a sincere, grateful smile. That was a great talk, thanks. Then he left Kang Cheol's restaurant. That night, the moon shone brightly, as if lighting the way for the great veteran. Kang Cheol stood at the door, watching Tae-young's retreating figure, sighing inwardly. A veteran never truly leaves. They just fade away and don't reappear. The next morning, Tae-young drove to the outskirts. Stopping the car, he removed his helmet and stepped out. Standing on the empty land, gazing at the city, he sighed. I'm off. At the same time, on a cliff near the city center, a lone figure stood. Kim Sang-gu hadn't left, murmuring in grief, "Live well, old man." With that, his figure vanished. Soon after, a nine-tailed fox appeared on the cliff. It was the same little fox from before, now with 2 extra tails. It gazed into the distance, thinking, "Too gentle. The one who just left and the one who gave me the shimmering stone. They're both so kind and harmless. Farewell, gentle soul." A night of sorrow passed, a small moment in life. But someone was deeply affected. After talking with Tae-young, Kang Cheol had a dream. In it, someone called his name, but it was Moreau, his name from the continent. Recognizing the voice, he shouted urgently, "Renero, you're awake? Come here." But no one answered. The dream's images grew fainter. Then the dream shifted to Kang Cheol facing a horde of monsters. An evil voice echoed in his mind. "King of the world, are you the one who summoned me through this rift?" The figure unleashed energy at him, but Kang Cheol stood coldly, scoffing. "What are you talking about?" As he spoke, he clenched his fists, countless magic arrays appearing above his head. Kang Cheol ignored them, charging forward. Boom! 2 energies collided. The dream ended there. He jolted awake, face drenched in sweat. Wiping it away, he glanced beside him, seeing Khan curled up in a corner, trembling. Kang Cheol asked, surprised, "What's wrong?" Khan demanded heatedly. "You suddenly released such intense killing intent. How am I supposed to handle that?" Kang Cheol realized he'd unconsciously emitted hostility and apologized. He rubbed his forehead, easing his tension. Seeing his state, Khan asked suspiciously, "Nightmare?" Kang Cheol shook his head. "No, it's just that even though the war ended nearly 10 years ago, I still get like this sometimes." He thought the story of Soul's monster attack yesterday had affected him. Why did it happen the same day I faced the Demon King? That's no coincidence, is it? Looking out the window, Kang Cheol wondered, I won't have to face the Demon King here again, will I? After waking from a nightmare, Kang Cheol sat for a moment to collect himself. Stepping outside, he saw Kyul making cheerful noises. But when he noticed the floor covered in scribbled drawings, Kang Cheol clutched his head helplessly. Great, now it's like a summer break mess. He sighed, picking up the newspaper Kyul had been lying on, saying, "Let's see what you drew here." Fried chicken. Kyul looked at him gleefully, babbling in response. Today's menu surprised Kang Cheol. He glanced at Kyul's drawings on the floor, exclaiming, "A fish? With hands, it must be a mermaid." Kyul let out an unintelligible sound, but he understood. Frowning, he muttered, then picked her up, intending to scold her, but she rubbed his cheek with her tiny hand. Kang Cheol's heart melted, and he couldn't bring himself to reprimand her. He patted Kyul's head, smiling. "Today, we'll make fried chicken, but you've got to clean up those scribbles, got it?" With that, Kang Cheol shouted, Khan. Khan, brushing his teeth, startled at the call, rushed out, and looked at him confusedly. Kang Cheol said calmly, teach the kid how to clean up today. At his words, Khan clutched his head, groaning, this little one's been naughty again. But Kyul didn't care, repeatedly calling Papa. This irked Khan further. He huffed, why is she closer to him than me? Kang Cheol ignored the sibling rivalry, saying casually, watch the house. I'm going shopping. Later, at Samseon Market, having promised fried chicken, Kang Cheol bought a load of chicken. The vendor was thrilled. Big luck today. It's festival day. Kang Cheol frowned, asking, festival? The vendor nodded, grinning. You probably don't know. Check out the square, they're testing something. As the vendor said, across the market, a robot was being tested. A crowd cheered excitedly. Kang Cheol followed the suggestion to take a look. He recognized it immediately as a golem. While observing, Muon Lee Bahi spotted him from afar and approached, greeting, hey boss, here to watch. Kang Cheol replied politely, hi. Yeah, I came to see the test run of the new AI construct. Hearing the name, Kang Cheol raised an eyebrow. Lee Bahi chuckled, explaining, that's its name, a golem powered by mana crystals. They exist on the continent too. Kang Cheol knew its power was formidable but had clear weaknesses. Hard to control precisely, strong against slow giant monsters, but weak against fast, small ones. Plus, not everyone could operate it. He mused, so someone's controlling it already? Lee Bahi nodded. Gear Walk, a 1-star awakened. Kang Cheol understood. One of the 3 1-star awakened was out there. Operating a piloted golem required enduring the mana crystal's energy, something only innate awakened like Gear Walk, 1-star Kim Hun, could do. To Kang Cheol, its capabilities were impressive but exorbitantly costly, making its value questionable. Still, with good support, it could revolutionize mana crystal technology, making the world more convenient. Having seen enough, he said casually, you've worked hard. Lee Bahi, sensing he was leaving, asked, hey, boss, is your restaurant open today? Kang Cheol nodded. Yeah, unless something special comes up, we're open year-round. Lee Bahi beamed. Great, I'll stop by soon. Kang Cheol returned home, but upon opening the door, he saw a strange girl with green hair and skin, clearly not human. He glanced at Khan in the corner, asking suspiciously, what spirit is this? Yours, Khan replied cheerfully. My sister's been confirmed as a spirit summoner class. Kang Cheol wasn't too surprised and approached Kyul. Khan boasted proudly. You probably guessed from her scales, she's a blue dragon. This stemmed from exchanges between the blue dragon tribe of Wadaland and the red dragon tribe of Dragon Mountain. But no one paid Khan much attention. Kyul happily hugged the spirit, calling it Mama. Khan awkwardly clarified, that's not your mom, but she ignored him, leaving Khan exasperated. Kang Cheol asked, so a high-tier spirit? Khan nodded, yup. It had been a while since Kang Cheol saw a spirit in non-combat mode. High-tier spirits were terrifying in battle. The principle of spirit summoning was simple. They were called from a multidimensional spirit world, uniformly named across high, mid, or low tiers. Undine for water, Salamander for fire, Sylph for wind, and earth spirits. No one had ever summoned a spirit king for any element, so high tier was the limit. So, the demon realm where demons lived, the spirit world, the Pan-continent, and Earth's dimension made 4 known dimensions. The Pan-continent and Earth were interconnected. Kang Cheol sighed, a bit overwhelmed, but brushed it off, glancing at Khan. By the way, have you taught her to clean yet? Khan, distracted, just watched Kyul play happily with the spirit. Kang Cheol observed, remarking, such a versatile class, pretty amazing. Since the kids awakened her powers, let's throw a celebration. He headed to the kitchen to prepare food. Today's main dish was fried chicken. 30 years ago, Korea had a fried chicken craze. Every possible variation existed, spicy, soy, classic, with hundreds of versions. Among them, the crispiest was the foundation for many later styles. Soon, Kang Cheol finished. Khan and his sister drooled at the sight. He tore off a piece, smiling. It's best eaten by hand. Try the drumstick first. Kyul eagerly took it, happily munching. Seeing Kyul eat so joyfully, her eyes sparkling, Kang Cheol couldn't help but smile. Khan rushed over. That good, huh? I can't hold back. I'm eating too. But before he could tear into it, Kang Cheol stopped him. Wait. In our world, the chicken part you eat first reveals your personality. Which part do you pick? Khan froze, muttering, seriously, that's a big deal? Kang Cheol nodded. You could say that. Khan frowned, hesitated, then tore off the neck, asking, I like this part. What does it say about me? Seeing Khan's seriousness, Kang Cheol laughed. Just kidding. Let's eat. But as he spoke, Kyul had devoured the entire box of fried chicken, bones and all. Luckily, Kang Cheol had made another box. He grabbed a beer, saying, soju's for regular days, but fried chicken calls for beer. They ate and drank together. Khan praised while eating. This is amazing. Looking at Kang Cheol, Khan marveled. How do you deb one so cleanly? There are so many small bones. Kang Cheol just smiled without answering. Kyul joined in the fun. The three gathered for the meal. Suddenly, fireworks boomed outside, startling them. Kang Cheol carried Kyul to watch. Seeing fireworks for the first time, Kyul was thrilled. He looked down at her, thinking, Kyul's always cooped up in the restaurant. She must feel trapped. He asked, Khan, when can she transform? Khan replied casually, she's awakened her class, so probably soon. Kang Cheol continued, can she breathe fire too? Khan nodded, yup. Chuckling, Kang Cheol said excitedly, that's something to look forward to. When Kyul transformed, he wanted to buy her nice clothes, take her to explore the world, and do so much more. At the Golem test site, Kim Hun was still guiding technicians to tweak the machinery. Later, he stepped out of the room, exhaling in relief. Mew on Li Bahi, waiting, wave, good work. Kim Hun was surprised. This is the men's changing room, isn't it? Li Bahi laughed. No big deal. Haven't seen you in a while. Wanted to check how much you've grown. Kim Hun sighed, taking off his jacket. Still calling you old lady, but now you're really ancient, huh? I need a shower and some food. Damn, I've only had water all day because of the test. Li Bahi grinned. Knew you'd be starving, so I found a restaurant. Kim Hun scoffed. Big sister, my foot. You're older than my mom. Which place? Li Bahi said slowly. In Samzeon. Kim Hun frowned. Near Kim Sanga's place? Heard the news? Captain Taejung's retired. Sanga must be lonely. Li Bahi sighed. Yeah, heard he's gone back to his hometown. Kim Hun said regretfully. Such a shame. He's a good man. Li Bahi shook her head. He deserves a rest. I wish I had a hometown to return to. She paused, then asked, by the way, the new mana crystal seems pretty good? Kim Hun nodded. Pretty good. With high condensed mana, just not pure. He asked, from that new dungeon nearby, right? Li Bahi replied calmly. Yeah, temporarily ranked 1, but something's off. It's a cave dungeon in Incheon. No monsters, just a mana crystal mine. Problem is, the sky's got a weird color. In the outskirts, Kang Cheol held a necklace, gripping it tightly, looking up at the sky, his eyes full of contemplation. Kasim's words echoed in Kang Cheol's mind, low and weighty, like a memory etched from days of brutal battles. The precious treasures, once seized from dragons in life-or-death clashes with the Demon King, were now mostly destroyed, leaving only fragments of past glory. All of them were now under Kang Cheol's stewardship. Standing amidst the battlefield, he looked up, his icy gaze sweeping over the colossal dragons circling the sky, their wings slicing through the air with thunderous roars. On the ground, the bronze-voiced warriors shouted in excitement. That's Miro Kaikas. The ferocious dragons always avoided Kang Cheol's gaze, never daring to face him directly. Among the treasures he had collected was a unique item, the mana detector of the sovereign. He crouched, his hand lightly touching the shimmering necklace before him, its light reflecting in his eyes. In his heart, he thought, as expected, there's a mana signal here too. Suddenly, shocking news jolted him. He heard that Kim Sanga's team had been defeated at Jangkark. What's going on? Kang Cheol muttered, his brows furrowing tightly. Isn't that a mana crystal mine? If exploited properly, it could be a monumental discovery, changing everything in an instant. He looked up, his eyes scanning the sky. Chaotic thoughts swirled in Kang Cheol's mind, but they all pointed to one truth. The Demon King had caused this dungeon to collapse. The mana output here was abnormal, far exceeding expectations. It's starting, he whispered, a chill running down his spine. At that moment, a piercing sound tore through the air. A rift appeared in the sky, rapidly expanding like a beast's gaping maw. A pitch-black portal formed, and from within, countless ferocious mana beasts surged out, their roars shaking the earth. Kim Sang-gu, standing in the battlefield, his eyes blazing, pointed at his comrades, shouting, "Damn it! Formation D, prepare to fight. The giant boars are charging. Everyone, get ready for battle." He turned to those beside him, his voice resolute. "Stop them from the outside. These are evolved level 6 war boars." The warriors, gripping their city fists tightly, raised them to their chests, summoning shimmering magical shields. The light formed a radiant barrier, ready to withstand the savage attacks of the massive boars. Suddenly, Kim Sang-gu leaped high, his hair whipping in the wind, roaring, "I'm coming." His sudden move startled his team, who shouted in unison, "Captain!" But then, a horrifying scene unfolded. Something, fast as lightning, smashed the boars to the ground, causing the earth to quake violently. Kim Sang-gu's eyes widened, stunned, muttering, "This is insane." From the portal, an immense wave of dark mana surged, radiating terrifying pressure. Kim Sang-gu turned back, yelling, "The Boar King's here. If it's shown up, there won't be any more giant boars. Prioritize rescuing the wounded." The surrounding space trembled violently, the mana energy growing stronger. On the ground, Kim Sang-gu was surrounded by countless giant boars. He flinched, sweat rolling down his forehead. His team fought desperately, the clash of metal against claws ringing incessantly. Kim Sang-gu's body trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of a harsh choice. In his mind, he thought, "I have to choose. To protect the remaining members and civilians, I need to retreat to the rear. But what about those trapped near the portal ahead? Is choosing the majority the right choice?" His hand gripped the long spear tightly, making it quiver. Heroes, they always spoke of regret at such crossroads. How much they agonized, how much pain they endured. Kim Sang-gu recalled Captain Taejung's words, his voice low but powerful. "Honestly, I just wanted to run. But in moments like this, if you dare step forward, you become a true powerhouse. If you flee, you'll spend your life chasing others' shadows." Those words ignited a fire in his heart. Kim Sang-gu's gaze hardened, his grip on the long spear tightening. He roared, "I'll become a true hero." Turning to his team, his voice was resolute. "Comrades are trapped up there. I'll lead and clear the path. Formation A, charge forward." The team instantly fell into position, ready to fight. Kim Sang-gu led, rushing like a gale, his long spear slashing, annihilating the giant boars ahead with terrifying speed. A teammate shouted, "The captain's charging." After felling a few beasts, he paused, hands in a defensive stance, breathing heavily. He muttered, "Too many monsters. I'm out of mana." But he couldn't stop. From the portal, more giant boars poured out, making the battlefield increasingly brutal. A teammate yelled, "Captain, the Boar King's coming." Before Kim Sang-gu stood a massive boar, larger than the rest, the Boar King. He gripped his long spear, stomping the ground, thinking, "Behind me are my comrades. These monsters keep coming. I'll crush them all." He roared, "I'll clear the way." His long spear thrust forward, an immense energy erupting, tearing the Boar King's body to pieces. The force reduced it to dust in an instant. Kim Sang-gu's strike surged forward, unstoppable. He clenched his fist, marveling inwardly. This power, it's surging. Turning to his team, he commanded, "Don't stand there. Rescue the wounded first. Get the unconscious to the main camp." A teammate shouted, "Captain, another Boar King's emerging from the portal." Kim Sang-gu froze, eyes wide, yelling, "Damn it. Prepare full defenses, ready to retreat on my signal." The new Boar King appeared, its mouth gaping, letting out a roar that echoed across the sky. Kim Sang-gu grew exhausted, sweat dripping. He thought, "If we hold out, the guild must have gotten the signal. Reinforcements will come, but how long can we last?" Suddenly, a blinding light erupted from behind, so powerful it startled him. He turned, his gaze stunned. The team froze before the dazzling glow. Then, to everyone's shock, the giant boars vanished in the light. A dark figure flashed past, swift as the wind, as if it had obliterated the entire horde in one strike. The sky cleared. Kim Sang-gu, still gripping his long spear, muttered, "What? Where'd the monsters go?" In the distance, a man lay on the ground, his body trembling, letting out faint groans. Kim Sang-gu rushed over, shouting, "Manhwa, can you stand?" He helped Manhwa up. The man mumbled weakly, "I'm okay. Not sure what happened, but aside from some burns, I'm fine." Kim Sang-gu slung an arm around him, commanding, "Retreat first. Everyone, get out of this dungeon now." The team responded in unison, "Yes, Captain." As they withdrew, Kim Sang-gu kept glancing back, his eyes scanning the chaotic scene. He muttered, "What the hell happened here?" On a distant cliff, Kang Cheol stood silently, his icy gaze watching the retreating group. He recalled Taejung's words, his voice low, "That reckless kid, please keep an eye on him." Kang Cheol sighed softly, murmuring, "I just remembered what he said." Sitting down, his eyes distant, he thought, "Anyway, in this world, no one knows who I really am. A bit of chaos from using absolute immortal power, but it's the price for saving him today." More importantly, he said he was only rank 2. After this battle, he's reached master level, becoming Korea's 4th one-star awakened. Kang Cheol's stomach growled like boiling water, interrupting his thoughts. He shook his head, standing, muttering, "First, let's eat something." He swiftly returned to his restaurant, setting a grill on glowing coals. "The fire's not big enough yet." "Wait a bit," he said, his voice low. Then, with terrifying speed, he vanished and reappeared in a blink, holding a bundle of firewood. Khan, nearby, jumped, yelling, "What was that?" Looking at Kang Cheol, Khan thought, "This body took 50 years to master martial arts, become a sword master, and even gain regeneration. Just how strong is this guy?" Seeing Khan's pensive look, Kang Cheol asked, "What are you thinking about so intently?" Khan stammered, startled, in nothing." At that moment, Kyul woke from their conversation. Her eyes sparkled at the fire. She babbled, and suddenly, a mermaid spirit appeared. Khan stuttered, "Kyul, what are you doing?" The mermaid raised her hand, and a second later, a torrential rain poured down on everyone. They froze, eyes wide. The mermaid turned, smiling at Kyul. The little girl beamed innocently, thinking she'd done something helpful. Soaked, Kang Cheol shivered, muttering, "I'll get more firewood." After struggling to restart the fire, a feast was prepared, fragrant grilled giant boar meat with a vegetable salad. Khan took a piece, exclaiming, "Grilled meat? Thanks for the meal." As he was about to eat, Kang Cheol wrapped a piece in lettuce. Khan asked, "What's that?" Kang Cheol replied, "It's called a meat wrap." Khan popped it in his mouth, chewing eagerly, eyes widening. "This is amazing." Kang Cheol sighed helplessly at his enthusiasm. He turned, asking, "Khan, still investigating the dungeon?" Khan nodded. "Yeah, when I'm free, outside restaurant work or watching Kyul, I dig deeper." "What?" Kang Cheol said gravely. "Today at the Incheon Mana Stone dungeon, I saw a herd of giant boars, all war types." Khan questioned. "Evolved boars adapting to the ecosystem isn't unusual." Kang Cheol continued. "But they evolved too fast, in just days. Still, they're nothing compared to what I saw on the Ispan continent. When the spatial rift opened, the energy wasn't just from Ispan." Khan gasped. "That?" Kang Cheol nodded. "Yeah, Earth might be connecting to another dimension, not just Ispan. Something beyond our understanding is happening here." The scene shifts to the Korean Awakened Association. After reading the report on the recent conquest, Ju Jinsu smiles and says, "That's truly impressive." Kim Senga looks at him and responds, "Ever since that blinding light, the monsters seem to vanish completely. Even the bosses." Ju Jinsu replies, "Gabby said the same thing." At that moment, countless thoughts swirl in Kim Senga's mind, frustrating him. He exclaims, "Good heavens, what the hell is going on here?" Looking at him, Ju Jinsu says, "Anyway, congratulations. You've reached the realm of a master profession. You're about to become Korea's 4th rank 1 awakened. How does it feel?" Hearing this good news, Kim Sengu immediately asks, "That's great news. So does that mean a raise?" Ju Jinsu replies, "Of course." Kim Sengu continues, "What's the point of a raise if I don't have time to spend it?" Noticing his slight complaint, Ju Jinsu offers, Want me to give you a few days off? He responds, no need. You know how busy the rainy season gets. Just make sure my team gets an extra bonus. Ju Jinsu looks at him and asks, have you chosen your next profession? Kim Sang-gu replies, yes, I've chosen Iron Heart. Iron Heart grants 2 lives and significantly boosts overall durability. Once I master this profession, my entire body will be as tough as steel. Charging into the enemy's formation like last time, betting my life on it. That can't happen again. That time was sheer luck, otherwise I'd be dead. As a tanker and damage dealer with Iron Heart, I can at least buy time for everyone else. After hearing his decision, Ju Jinsu says, that's a wise choice. But still, take a break. Gabi's handling the mine investigation, so you should head back. Hearing this, Kim Sang-gu stands, turns to leave, and says, I was just about to go, old man. Offended by being called an old man, Ju Jinsu snaps. Watch that mouth of yours, or I'll slap your teeth out one day. Kim Sang-gu heads to the elevator to go downstairs. Inside the elevator, thoughts swirl in his mind. I didn't sense any hostility from that light. On the contrary, it felt warm, like it was drawing me closer. Just like the Belto incident. Could it be some mysterious force? Or is someone out there helping us? The Belto event and the Magic Stone Mine. Their common thread is an unprecedented source of power. For now, all I can do is hope that power never turns against us. The scene shifts to Kang Cheol, who, along with Khan, is enjoying an outdoor barbecue. Khan pours a glass of liquor, holds it up, and looks at Kang Cheol, asking, is the Demon King strong? Kang Cheol takes a sip from his glass and replies, very. He's truly powerful. But I'm stronger. Khan asks further, do you hate the Demon King? Kang Cheol responds, hate? There was a time when I did. After I was summoned to that world, the people dear to me helped me adapt. They were injured and killed by the Demon King's army. Because I had power, I could stop them. 3 years of battle, my body drenched in blood. When it all ended, none of my friends were by my side anymore. I used to deeply resent the Demon King, the ruler of that world. He continues, recounting the final battle when he faced the Demon King. He looked at him and asked, were you the one who summoned me to this dimension? Returning to the present, he adds, back then, the Demon King said he, too, was summoned by someone. Khan, intrigued, asks, that's possible? Summoning the Demon King? So how did you get back here? Faced with Khan's rapid questions, Kang Cheol pauses, then says, for 10 years, I traveled the world searching. As time passed, I grew desperate. After endless days, a spatial rift tore open right before my eyes, and I saw buildings like the ones here. I returned through that portal. Hard to believe, but it's true. As he finishes, Khan says, I believe you. You've been through a lot. At these encouraging words, Kang Cheol lowers his gaze and replies coolly, it's nothing. The two continue to immerse themselves in the feast. Kang Cheol thinks to himself, that's right, I still hate the Demon King. But at the same time, I pity him. Being thrown into an unfamiliar world is a loneliness you can't bear. I often have nightmares where the names Miko and Moreau Rikas keep appearing in my mind. But the dreams are usually about war. Watching loved ones die. It hurts, like nails being driven into my heart, over and over, every day. Those nails are massive, and the pain is excruciating. I've relied on many things to survive this long, like alcohol. If I'm wrong, at least I can sleep. If I weren't strong enough, I might have gone mad long ago. Maybe I already have. Once again, he's haunted by a nightmare. His eyes snap open, his body drenched in sweat. He takes a few labored breaths, then jolts awake, muttering to himself. Another nightmare. He looks at little Kyul, peacefully asleep in his arms. He realizes he's in Kyul's room. He mutters, when did I roll over here to sleep? Stepping outside, he sees Khan sleeping in a running pose. He thinks, he's sleeping in that weird pose again. Just another normal morning, huh? He heads downstairs, stepping outside to light a cigarette to clear his head. Suddenly, a voice calls out, hey, young man. Kang Cheol repeats to himself, young man. Looking down, he sees an elderly woman standing there. He asks, are you talking to me? She asks, young man, which way to the Ararang train? Kang Cheol lets out a small acknowledgement, rubs his chin, and thinks, is there really such a train? Seeing him lost in thought, the woman says, you don't know? Oh dear, What am I supposed to do if no one knows? She turns to leave, muttering, oh my goodness. After the strange encounter, Kang Cheol returns to his restaurant, thinking, I've never seen that old lady around here before. And what's this Arirang train? Next time, I should ask for more details. He looks around the restaurant and mutters, maybe I should open up before it gets too late. The preparations are complete. The restaurant is spotless, with knives and cutting boards meticulously cleaned. The entire kitchen has been tidied by his own hands. As soon as he opens, a customer walks in, saying, Morning, boss. Kang Cheol greets back. Good morning. It's a familiar regular, Choi Jae-woo. He takes a seat and says, Nice weather today, huh? What's on the menu? Kang Cheol replies, I'm still preparing, so for now, I can only whip up some simple fried rice. Choi Jae-woo cheerfully responds, Perfect. Outside the window, a few raindrops start to hit the glass. Choi Jae-woo looks out and says, Looks like the rainy season's really starting. It's gonna be crazy busy today. Oh boy. Kang Cheol, focused on his cooking, pretends not to hear. He thinks, probably because of the help I gave this time. A few minutes later, he steps out and says, Fried rice is ready. Suddenly, Choi Jae-woo seems to remember something and says, Oh right. Lately, Grandma Arirang's been wandering around this area. Hearing the familiar name, Kang Cheol asks, Grandma Arirang? Choi Jae-woo, eating his fried rice, replies, You haven't heard? She's an old lady who collects cardboard around here, and her mental state's a bit unstable. Have you met her? Kang Cheol nods. Yeah, she stopped by the shop earlier, wearing a scarf even in the summer. She asked where the Arirang train was. Do you know what that is? Choi Jae-woo replies, Honestly, no one really knows. Life's gotten better these days, but it wasn't always like that. A lot of people lost loved ones, and some couldn't handle it. Best to just let things be. He stands up and says, I'm off. Kang Cheol calls out, Take care. After Choi Jae-woo leaves, Kang Cheol walks to the window, gazing at the rainy sky outside. Thoughts swirl in his mind. The world is in a state of change. No matter how much time passes, the truth of each person's life remains unchanged. The world today still bears the scars of the past. So, the customers who come by, including that old lady, must be living with their own wounds. For now, that's all he thinks about, letting the moment pass. After seeing off the first customer, Kang Cheol finally has a moment to attend to his personal hygiene. While brushing his teeth, he hears Khan's excited voice from outside. Great job, Kyul. That's it. Kang Cheol steps out of the bathroom and looks at Kyul. Her entire body is glowing with vibrant green light, dazzlingly bright. Then, changes begin to manifest. Her hair grows longer, looking quite adorable. But both Kang Cheol and Khan let out a sigh. Failed again, another failure. Looking at the flustered Kyul below, Kang Cheol asks, Even shape-shifting requires some kind of trick. Khan replies, Yup, once you pull it off the first time, you won't forget how. It's just hard until you succeed that first time. Thinking about this, Kang Cheol strokes his chin and says, Maybe we should try putting some clothes on her. With that, he grabs a small shirt and puts it on Kyul. Though small, it easily covers her entire body. Looking at her, he thinks to himself, She's definitely big. Once she fully transforms, she'll probably look like a 5-year-old. As soon as he finishes speaking, Kyul lets out a few squeaks, her body trembling again as it continues to transform. Her arms twitch wildly, pulling her whole body along. Now, she's fully transformed into a 5-year-old girl, though her dragon tail remains intact. Seeing her complete transformation, Kang Cheol lets out a small gasp of amazement. Right after transforming, Kyul joyfully runs straight toward him, stammering, Papa, Papa. Her new form makes movement a bit awkward, but Kang Cheol quickly catches her. Seeing this, Kyul beams with joy, still calling out, Papa, Papa. Khan rushes over, scooping up his little sister, overjoyed. Kyul, you did it. It's still too early for her to wander out there, but she's transformed successfully. That's my little sister. Kang Cheol smiles from the side and says, Right, I should start preparing food. You, find some clothes that fit Kyul properly. Finding Kang Cheol's suggestion perfectly reasonable, Khan nods eagerly. You're right. Outside, the rain continues to pour. Kang Cheol heads downstairs, glances at the sky, and says, It's been raining nonstop. I've got some kingpin tenderloin left. Guess I'll make sweet and sour ribs. As he descends the stairs, his eyes catch sight of the old lady from before. She's here again. He approaches and greets her. Seeing him, she responds, "Hello, it's pouring out there. Can I stay here for a bit?" He nods in agreement. "Of course, come in and have some tea." At this warm invitation, she shakes her head and says, "No need. With this rain, I have to hurry and find it soon." Looking at her, Kang Cheol thinks to himself, "Strange, didn't she use a local dialect before?" He steps forward, hands her an umbrella, and says, "At least take this." Accepting the umbrella, she thanks him. "Good heavens, thank you," she adds. "I'll definitely bring this back. Oh, by the way, do you sell jajangmyeon here?" Kang Cheol repeats, "Jajangmyeon." He opens the door, steps into his restaurant, and continues, "I don't have the ingredients right now. Let me check." He glances outside. The old lady has already left without him noticing. Watching her fading figure, he mutters to himself, "That's odd." The rain continues to pour outside. Inside, the radio crackles to life. With this prolonged rain, be cautious of aquatic monsters during the rainy season, such as kelpies. Kelpies are typically low-level monsters, but during rain, they can rise to level 7. In the restaurant, a man slams his beer glass on the table, slurring in a drunken state. "Boss, how do I attract a woman?" This is none other than Kim Hun, who's been drinking regularly since his time with Gabby. Seeing his drunken state, thoughts cross Kang Cheol's mind. "Before I was summoned to that other world, all I thought about was dating a girlfriend." Kim Hun staggers to his feet, starting to pour his heart out. "Look, this is a secret. 2 years ago, a hidden boss appeared in a newly discovered dungeon. And back then, she saved me. My ideal type is a strong woman. A strong woman is so attractive. First off, how do I put it? Strong women are badass. They're beautiful." Hearing this, he laughs. "Haha, you too, huh, boss?" Kang Cheol's eyes soften as he thinks to himself, "I get you, because I was like that too. The strongest, kindest, most beautiful woman. That's Moreau Rikas, the name that haunts my dreams every night." Kim Hun continues, "Anyway, I fell for her back then. But she's sharp as a tack." He strokes his chin, sighs, and muses. "She's so captivating." Kang Cheol asks, "You mean the woman who was with you last time?" Kim Hun replies, "What? Oh, that one's more like a mom. I like women who treat me a bit rough. But she absolutely despises guys like me. If I cling to her one more time, it'll probably be my funeral. If she sees me now, she'd probably say she wants to tear me to pieces." His emotions surge, and he shouts, "I asked her who her ideal type is, and she said Kim Sang-gu. Is she serious?" Those two bicker and argue every single day. Contrary to his words, Kang Cheol thinks. Still, Kim Sang-gu's pretty likable. Right after speaking, Kim Hun quickly adds, "Look, this is top secret, got it?" Kang Cheol nods. "Got it." Kim Hun holds up his empty beer glass and says, "Boss, one more beer." The radio continues. Additionally, due to the prolonged rain, the restoration work on the resting tomb in northern Siademen is being urgently carried out. Please refrain from visiting during this time. This catches both their attention. Kang Cheol looks at Kim Hun and asks, "What's the resting tomb?" Kim Hun sighs and replies, "Oh, yeah, it's a cemetery for victims of the past. Back then, too many people died, and recovering bodies wasn't easy. So they cremated them and engraved their names, creating a shared cemetery." Nodding at the explanation, Kang Cheol hears the door open. Instinctively, he says, "Welcome." A stunningly beautiful woman steps inside. It's the rank 2 awakened Crescent Queen, Lee Yun-air. She looks at him, returns the greeting, and asks, "This place is..." Then she spots a familiar face and lets out a small gasp. Of course. She rushes over, grabs Kim Hun by the collar, pulls his face close, and snaps angrily, "Drinking again, you damn fool?" Faced with her furious expression, Kim Hun turns into a scared puppy, stammering, "Yun-air, what are you doing here?" She yanks his head back, interrogating him. "Stop messing around and come with me. Why do you keep sneaking out to drink at night and bother people?" Seeing her expression, Kim Hun becomes utterly smitten. He says, "See? She's so captivating." His words fuel her anger further. She lands a loving punch, then drags him out. Kim Hun, still delighted, waves. "Boss, thanks for today. Kang Cheol calls after them. Take care. They walk off into the pouring rain. As they go, Kim Hun flirts. You're all wet. This only makes her angrier. He leans closer, holding the umbrella over her, and says, Come here, Yun Air. Watching them leave, Kang Cheol notes. Yun Air, the Crescent Queen? He turns back into the shop, looks at the messy table, and says, Time to clean up. Their voices echo from outside. Kim Hun says, But Yun Air, why'd you come for me? Don't tell me. She cuts him off. Shut it. It's an order from above. A swarm of Kelpies has appeared in the city center. Shocked, Kim Hun asks, What? Kelpies always show up around this time, don't they? Her voice sharpens. There's too many this time, and civilian casualties are spiking. They're especially aggressive. Hearing their conversation, Kang Cheol thinks, Something's off. I've got a bad feeling. After cleaning up, he heads into the kitchen. Cheol, still wobbling in her new body, toddles toward the fridge to grab food. Seeing this, Kang Cheol picks her up and says, Sneaking in here for ingredients again? Caught. Cheol puts on an adorable expression, chirping, Papa, Papa. Holding her, he says. She still can't hide her tail and wings. One day, I'll return to the Ispan continent. Hearing this, Cheol beams, repeating, Bobby ABA. Tail, tail. Hugging her close, he sighs softly. That's right. Until then, I need to cook lots of delicious food and make plenty of happy memories. A noise from outside signals a customer, startling him. He sets Cheol down, gestures for her to stay quiet, and thinks, No customers come this early, and I let my guard down. He heads to the door and says, Hello, it's the old lady from before. She says, There you are, what a relief. She steps inside and asks, Can I get a bowl of jajangmyeon? How long will it take? He replies, It'll take a bit. Please come in first. She urges, Oh dear, I'm in a hurry. Noticing a slight change in her voice, he glances at her, thinking, A local dialect? Her appearance is different from last time. Could it be? He uses his insight skill to check her information. The data appears. Disposition, good. Profession, none. Profession achievements, none. Abilities possessed, none. She's 100% a civilian, not an awakened. But the system sends an additional note. Ability, memory loss. Looking at the notification, he recalls something. Many people lost loved ones, and many couldn't cope mentally. Mental trauma can't even be healed by magic from another world. If it could, I wouldn't have nightmares anymore. There's no other way. I can only repay with good food. The ingredients for jajangmyeon he saved from last time are still there. The old lady, sitting outside, lets out a small gasp. Somehow, Cheol has slipped out and is standing in front of her. Looking at Cheol, she says, What is this? Cheol's sudden appearance puts Kang Cheol in an awkward spot. He's at a loss for how to handle this situation. Kang Cheol's expression darkens, and he quickly says, Sorry, this child is. But the old lady interrupts. Oh my, is that a puppy? Her words puzzle Kang Cheol. A puppy, she continues. Good heavens, so adorable. Looks just like my Bekgu. Then she turns to him and asks, What's its name? He replies, Her name is Cheol. Hearing the name, the old lady claps her hands in delight. Wonderful, it can even talk. At these glowing compliments, Cheol's face lights up with pride. From inside, Khan suddenly rushes out, looks outside, and shouts, Why is Cheol with a human? Is that okay? Kang Cheol glances at the old lady and Cheol playing together, then says, It's fine. Keep an eye out for other customers. He returns to his kitchen, deciding, Guess I'll make jajangmyeon. Back in the day, it was a common dish, available everywhere. But now it's hard to find since the ingredients are scarce. First, he needs black bean sauce, a type of fermented soybean paste made in Chinese or Japanese style, known as black bean sauce. These sauces are trickier and more labor-intensive to make than one might think. Next is the noodles. Some places sell fresh noodles, but since the customer's in a hurry, he'll use instant ones. When stir-frying the black bean sauce, it smells like a mix of charcoal and water. Once it turns glossy, it's done. While boiling the noodles, he adds the black bean sauce to the stir-fried starch, meat, and onions, then brings it to a boil. In just a few minutes, the kingpin meat jajangmyeon is ready. He carries the bowl out and says, Grandma, your jajangmyeon is ready. The old lady, still playing joyfully with Cheol, turns around and says, Oh my, I forgot. I need to take it to go. My grandchild's waiting, so I'm in a rush. Kong Cheol nods, understanding. Got it. Please wait a moment. He heads back to the kitchen, packs the food, and hands it to her. Bringing it out, he says, Here you go. It's wrapped in plastic and packed in a bowl, so be careful not to break it. Please bring the bowl back next time. Holding the bowl, the old lady steps forward and says, Thank you so much. Here's the payment for the jajangmyeon. Looking at the stack of 1,001 bills in his hand, he mutters, 1,001 bills, haven't seen those in a while. He and Kyul walk her to the door, seeing her off with, Take care. After that, Grandma Ararang occasionally returns to buy jajangmyeon to take away. Each time, she says it's for someone different, sometimes her husband, sometimes her grandchild. But she never returns the bowls. Knowing it's not intentional, Kong Cheol quietly orders more. On his way back after one of her visits, he notices the resting tomb. He enters, looks around, and sighs, thinking, As expected, my parents' graves wouldn't be here. A voice nearby says, Oh dear, Grandma. What are we going to do if you keep doing this? It's Grandma Ararang being addressed. She responds, confused. What's wrong? I have to bring this for my grandchild and husband. The guard explains. This is difficult, Grandma. This is a cemetery. You can't bring food here. Look, it's attracting bugs. And you can't sleep here either. You'll catch a cold. Honestly, if you don't clean this up today, I'll throw it all out. I mean it. Looking at the old lady, Kong Cheol is puzzled. Near the graves, there's a small tent with simple belongings. He guesses this is where she lives, alongside faded photos. After the guard leaves, the old lady stands, sighs softly, and walks to a photo, caressing it like a dear friend. Watching this, Kong Cheol thinks, people don't just smile when they're happy. When they're truly suffering, they don't cry either. Instead, they smile. I used to smile like that too. Back then, it became a habit. Deciding not to disturb her, he turns and leaves, returning to his small home. The rain continues to pour outside. Hyul, seeing the rain, looks thrilled and lets out a few excited squeaks. Kong Cheol glances at Khan and says, I need to buy more clothes. But with the market closed due to the rain, as long as we have something to wear, that's fine, right? Khan steps out, looks at his little sister, and rushes over, shouting, Hyul, don't drink the rainwater. Watching her, Kong Cheol remarks, She loves the rain like this, truly a green dragon. The radio broadcasts another announcement. Please be cautious of kelpies appearing due to heavy rain. If you encounter a kelpie, move to a dry area and quickly report to the temple mercenary team or the association. Hearing these repeated warnings, Kong Cheol looks at Khan and says, Watch the place for me. Sensing something off, he immediately leaves to check the situation. The scene shifts to the old lady, now standing at a train platform. She looks around, muttering, Where is this? She glances at a nearby sign. Boarding area, Ararang Express train arriving soon. Seeing it, she brightens. I've finally found the station. A train approaches from the distance and stops in front of her. The door slowly opens, revealing a well-dressed man. He extends a hand and says, Come, let's go, Grandma. Seeing him, she chuckles. Haha, no matter how nicely you dress, you can't hide that cow dung smell. From inside the train, a young boy runs out, calling, Grandma. Seeing him, she says, Junho, our little puppy. Junho, why is your face? But a thought interrupts her. Why can't I remember? At some point, memories fade. The world blurs like a faded photo. I can't recall. As always, it's like a black and white picture. At that moment, at her small tent, a kelpie appears. It lets out a long cry, then leans close to her. It opens its mouth wide, preparing to attack. But Kong Cheol suddenly appears from behind, delivering a single blow that obliterates the monster in an instant. Looking at the old lady, he says, As expected, she must have seen something while eating the jajangmyeon. Good thing I got here in time. Suddenly, a loud voice calls from outside. Hurry, Grandma Ararang is here. Hearing someone approach, Kong Cheol vanishes from the scene. He reappears high above, looking down. A guard and two knights arrive to assess the situation. One says, I definitely saw a kelpie form here. Kim Sengu steps forward, holding a piece of low-grade magic stone, analyzing it. Based on this low-grade magic stone and the surrounding traces, a kelpie definitely formed here. If one can form from a puddle this small, It must be quite strong. He grips the magic stone tightly, thinking, another unknown source of power. He turns to the others and says, anyway, we need to get her out of here first. There might be more kelpies around. The guard responds, yes, sir. The old lady, still lost in her dreams, calls out, Junho, honey, let's go, let's go. At that moment, a photo of the three of them falls to the ground, its glass frame shattering and scattering. The scene shifts to the evening, where Kang Cheol is still working in his small restaurant. He looks toward the door and calls out, welcome. The customer this time is none other than the familiar Grandma Ararang. She's dressed in an entirely different outfit from her usual attire, holding the old bowl from her last Jajangmyeon purchase. She steps inside, greeting him. Here's the bowl I took last time. It broke, so I brought it back. I've been troubling you all this time. Sorry about that. Kang Cheol takes the bowl, waves off her concern, and says, no trouble at all, ma'am. What catches his attention this time is her new outfit. He asks, are you heading somewhere? She nods. Yes, I am. Hearing this, Kang Cheol pauses thoughtfully, then suggests, even if you're leaving, please have a meal before you go. He heads to the kitchen, starts washing dishes, and turns to her, asking, shall I make jjajangmyeon again today? The old lady nods eagerly. Yes, that'd be great. He opens the pantry, noting that he has enough ingredients, but thinks, this time, I'll use instant ramen like before. Then he looks at her and asks, are you in a hurry? She replies, no, I'm not busy. He continues, then please wait a bit. Today, I'll make hand-pulled noodles. To make proper hand-pulled noodles, you need a long resting time, but I can't do that now. It'll be more like kalguksu, but at least it'll have a chewier texture than instant noodles. In just a few minutes, he brings out a visually stunning bowl of jjajangmyeon. Seeing it, the old lady lets out a small gasp and begins to share. Back in the day, I was a farmer. Life was busy and tough, but it was rewarding. My husband was gruff, but a good man. He spoke with a Seoul accent, so I started mimicking it, and before I knew it, the Seoul accent felt more natural than my hometown dialect. With him and our grandchild, we'd go to the county market once a week and always eat jjajangmyeon. Watching the little one eat made us so happy we'd just sit and stare. But now, I can't clearly recall my husband's or grandchild's faces. They're fading away. I don't want to forget, but I keep forgetting. That's what scares me. At that moment, Hyul runs in from somewhere, calling out, Papa, Papa. But this time, she approaches the old lady and says, Grandma. Seeing Hyul, the old lady turns to Kang Cheol and asks, can I share some jjajangmyeon with this little one? He nods. I'll make another portion for you. A few minutes later, he brings out another bowl of jjajangmyeon and places it on the table. The old lady gasps in admiration. Oh my, this is wonderful. Hyul looks at her and asks, Grandma, what's this? The old lady brushes it off with a soft hum, then picks up her chopsticks. Her expression softens, heavy with emotion. Seeing her hesitate, Hyul asks, Grandma, aren't you eating? Papa's food is so yummy. Hyul is already devouring her bowl with gusto. Black bean sauce smeared around her mouth. The familiar scene stuns the old lady for a moment. She nods and says, you're right, jjajangmyeon is this delicious. After finishing, she approaches Kang Cheol and says, Boss, the bill, please. He asks, are you leaving now? She nods, looking out the window, and says, it's time for the train. He nods back. I see. She starts to speak, but he interrupts. This one's on the house. This surprises her. What's your secret? He explains. Our restaurant always serves free meals to those about to set off. She sighs softly and says, I see. Thank you so much, then. Stay healthy. She turns and leaves, heading in her usual direction. On that road, many walk their own paths. The path of a father living fully for his daughter, the path of a retired hero weary from battles, and the path of a man in pure love. But today, it's the path of the old lady embarking on her journey. Hyul watches her leave, waving and calling, Grandma, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Once again, the Ararang Express train approaches, but this time the old lady is running to catch it, late. She calls out frantically, wait a moment. As she runs, she thinks, why am I chasing the train like this? After running a while, she stops to rest, still calling, please wait just a bit. From the train, a familiar voice calls out, Mom, Mom. It's the voices of her children and grandchildren, her eldest daughter, second son, and youngest child. Their faces grow clearer in her mind, weighing heavily on her heart. She remembers now, more vividly. The train door opens, and the well-dressed man steps out, saying, "Grandma, you've really had a hard time, haven't you?" He extends his hand, calling, "Let's go now." She reaches out, nodding, and replies, "Yes, let's go." The scene shifts back to reality, where the guard rushes to the old lady, calling urgently, "Grandma, Grandma." He gets closer, still calling, "Grandma, please wake up." Sensing something, his eyes well up with tears. He says, "You kept asking about the Arirang Express, and now you've boarded it and gone." He glances at the bowl of jajangmyeon placed by the gravestone, wondering, did someone come and go? No one can hold back someone determined to leave. He thinks, I could have extended her life. For me, that's easy now. But sometimes, living is cruel. Like now, the scene shifts to Zenkark's Seoul office, where Kim Sang-gu is studying recent unusual incidents. Propping his chin, he thinks, something's going on. Someone in Seoul is causing these strange events. Silent, mystical, full of mystery, but without malice. Wait, could it be? A name flashes in his mind. Jaeger, who disappeared during the massive monster invasion 10 years ago. Has he returned? But he quickly dismisses the thought. No, I saw him dive into a spatial rift with a boss-level monster about to self-destruct. In that final battle, he saved countless lives. Of course, Jaeger is still counted as one of Korea's 3 living Rank 1 awakened. But the association knows he can't return. Or could the association have a Rank 0 awakened? Countless theories flood his mind, making his head feel like it's exploding. He sweeps the papers off his desk, sighing in frustration. Arg, I don't know anymore. Since the Magic Stone Mine incident, high-level monsters have been flooding out of dungeons, as if heralding a major invasion. Covering his face, he thinks helplessly, why are there so many things to worry about? He glances at the stack of files beside him and says, let's deal with the urgent matter first. The most pressing issue is him, the younger brother of Jaeger, the Rank 1 awakened, Ryu Shin. The scene transitions to the Korean Awakened Association. Inside, the secretary approaches Ju Jinsu and says, these are the graduates for this term. Looking at the documents on the table, Ju Jinsu speaks up. So, you're saying these graduates are the triple rookies, correct? The graduates from Cypher Academy in the first quarter of this year are all exceptional. Among them, a particularly outstanding trio is dubbed the triple rookies. The first is a Rank 3 awakened, healing class, Kim Mi-jin. She has a high chance of being promoted to Rank 2. This year, she's 17 years old, and her desired area is Sea Demon. So her father must be part of Kim Sang-gu's team, right? She's the daughter of Sixon. However, Zenkark, who oversees Sea Demon, already has a healing class awakened. It's a pity, but it would be better to send her to Gentleman in Siocho. The secretary responds, yes, understood. The second is a Rank 3 awakened, fire class, Lee Jumyoung. The area he registered for is Hongdae. Coincidentally, there's an opening in the Queen of Blades smuggling network, so we can send him there. Looking at the final piece of information, Ju Jinsu strokes his chin and sighs. The problem is the last rookie, a Rank 2 awakened, melee class, Ryu Shin. He has werewolf abilities and immense growth potential, earning him the nickname, the Werewolf. There are 2 special notes. The first is that he's the younger brother of the Rank 1 awakened, Jaeger, who went missing 10 years ago. The second note is, just glancing at it, he clutches his head in frustration and snaps. This punk's causing trouble again, isn't he? The secretary nods and replies, yes, Chairman. He's been going around challenging mercenary leaders in every region. He says he'll join the mercenary team of anyone who defeats him. Hearing this, Ju Jinsu's mind spirals into chaos. He clutches his head again and exclaims, good grief, my head hurts. So what happened? The secretary responds, he defeated the mercenary leaders in 4 areas, Sinshin, Hongdae, Siocho, and Gangbuk, then headed to Sea Demon. The more he looks at the information, the angrier he gets. That punk, in this day and age, what's with this wiping out the whole crew nonsense? The scene shifts to a marketplace where Kong Cheol is shopping for ingredients for his restaurant. Looking at the meat stall, he mutters, I was planning to make spicy stir-fried pork today, But there's no kingpin meat left, so I'll have to use something else. Which monster meat would work? Idaho or Belto would be tasty, but why is there so much big pig meat? Have big pigs been showing up more frequently lately? If those things I saw at the magic crystal mine are appearing regularly, I need to investigate this. After buying the meat, he turns to leave when his eyes catch a children's clothing store nearby. A particularly adorable dress stands out. As he approaches, the shopkeeper steps forward and calls out, "Come on in." He nods and says, "Hello, would this fit a 5-year-old?" She shows him the dress and asks, "Of course, for a little princess or a prince?" He replies, "For a little girl." At that moment, nearby, Ryu Shin appears, shouting loudly, "Come out, Temple Commander Kong Hyok. I challenge you." This catches the attention of Kong Cheol, who's close by. He approaches, muttering, "Kong Hyok. He's the new head of the Temple mercenary team, taking over after Cheon Taejong retired." Then he looks at Ryu Shin, wondering, "So who's this blonde kid?" Ryu Shin slams his chest and points toward the building, yelling, "I'm Ryu Shin, a rank 2 awakened. I'm the one who rejected the association's offer and chose to become a mercenary." At these boastful words, Kong Cheol raises an eyebrow. He's introducing himself with such bravado? Kids these days are really something else. Ryu Shin continues, "Fight me. If you beat me, I'll join your mercenary team." Someone from an upper floor looks down and calls out, "Hey, kid, our captain's the best there is." Ryu Shin shouts back, "Every mercenary team in the world fears me. Cheon Taejong's retired, and a coward's taken over as captain. It's obvious without even looking." But as soon as he finishes, someone steps forward, stomping heavily, and says, "Who's this punk causing a ruckus in broad daylight?" It's Kong Hyok, the captain of the Temple mercenary team. Looking at the man stepping forward, Kong Cheol remarks, "He's got a sturdy build. Just looking at him, you can tell he's a perfect fit to replace Cheon Taejong." Faced with the kid's audacity, Kong Hyok grits his teeth and says, "I came to see who dares to casually throw around our former captain's name. Turns out it's just a brat. What a damn nuisance." Then he turns and heads back inside, ignoring Ryu Shin's shouts. "So you're Kong Hyok? Perfect, let's have a match." Choosing not to argue with a kid, Kong Hyok steps inside and says, "I don't fight meaningless battles, kid. Scram back to your neighborhood." Hearing this, Ryu Shin taunts, "Haha, the tiger's retired, so a fox is captain now. You're dodging me, aren't you?" Right after he finishes, Kong Hyok suddenly appears in front of him, his sword pressed against Ryu Shin's throat, warning, "Maybe I should break that mouth of yours, huh?" Seeing the challenge, Ryu Shin starts to unleash his power, excitedly saying, "That's more like it. This is how you should step up." In mere seconds, his body fully transforms into a werewolf. He charges forward, swinging his claws straight at Kong Hyok. But then, a purple flash cuts through, interrupting their clash. Kim Senga steps forward, sighing softly. "This damn city never has a peaceful day." Seeing him, Kong Hyok greets, "Guild Master." Kim Senga shouts angrily, "Everyone, stop it right now." Seeing Kim Sengu appear, Kong Cheol sighs inwardly. This must be youth and passion. But new sprouts grow after the ring. The next generation is starting to make their move. After a lecture, Ryu Shin sports a few lumps on his head. The three of them head to Kong Cheol's restaurant. Kim Senga speaks up, "Hello." Looking at the trio, Kong Cheol responds, "Welcome, customers." Pretending to be clueless, he asks, "Did they just have a fight?" Kim Senga replies, "Yeah, using weapons would break the rules. Those skills are also against the rules. As expected, men should settle things with their fists." Then he asks, "Who won?" Kim Senga smiles and says, "Sometimes a fight is about experience more than strength." He turns to the other two and says, "Sit down." Then he turns to Kong Cheol, "Boss, get us some soju and appetizers." Kong Cheol replies, "Sure thing." Then he suggests, "I've got spicy stir-fried pork today. Want to try it?" Kim Senga nods. "Yes, that sounds perfect." When making spicy stir-fried pork, first put pork belly in a pan lightly coated with oil and stir-fry it. Sometimes, in what's called stir-fried pork, people use more vegetables than meat. That's the kind Kong Cheol hates most. If it's spicy stir-fried pork, it has to have plenty of meat. There are 3 hearty eaters here, so he makes 5 portions. After mixing chili powder, gochujang, soy sauce, and sugar for the sauce, he adds a bit of minced garlic and sesame oil. In just a few minutes, the spicy stir-fried pork is ready. Looking at it, Ryu Shin lets out a small gasp, then shyly looks away. Just as he's about to say something, Kim Sanga stands up and says, "You guys handle the rest. I'll pay in advance. I'm heading out, boss." Kang Cheol calls out, "See you." Watching Kim Sanga leave, Kang Cheol sighs. "I made 5 portions on purpose, and he just leaves like that." Ryu Shin rubs the back of his neck awkwardly and says, "I lost. I'll join your mercenary team." At this, Kang Hyok pours a drink with one hand and says, "We don't need you, so get lost while I'm still being nice." This confuses Ryu Shin. "What? You don't need me? Everyone else wants me. I'm a rank 2 awakened." Kang Hyok calmly sips his drink and replies, "Don't think the sky of the world you live in is all there is." This puzzles Ryu Shin. "What do you mean?" Kang Hyok sets his glass down and continues, "I mean you should go out and learn that you're not as great as you think, kid." With that, he stands up, turns, and leaves, leaving Ryu Shin fuming. He shouts, "Damn it." Then he exclaims, "That was so cool." He turns and chases after him, calling, "Wait. Please wait for me, big bro." Watching the somewhat impulsive behavior of the youngsters, Kang Cheol sighs. It looks like this generation of the Temple mercenary team will become very strong. The problem is, the stronger they get, the stronger their enemies will become. The frequency of dungeon appearances has definitely increased. I need to investigate this more thoroughly and pay closer attention. Then he looks at the plate of food on the table. I made 5 portions, and no one even touched it? What a shame. The next morning, little Kyul is the first to wake up. She stretches with a small yawn. As soon as she's up, she recalls what Khan told her before bed. After you wake up, you have to wash your face. Nodding to herself, she summons the mermaid spirit and makes a request. Instantly, her body is enveloped in cool blue water. It swirls around her a few times before disappearing. This delights little Kyul, who claps her hands excitedly, saying, "All done, all done." She approaches Kang Cheol, who's still deep in sleep, drenched in sweat. She gently pats his face. "Papa did great too." Then she puts on the new dress he bought her and heads out for an early morning stroll. As she steps down the stairs, she notices a bright red portal nearby. Looking at it, she wonders, "What's this?" With a child's curiosity, she approaches and reaches toward the portal. Suddenly, a powerful force from within pulls her in, leaving only one of her shoes behind. The dark interior of the dungeon is illuminated by torches lining both sides of the path. Little Kyul, delighted, walks alongside her friend, the mermaid spirit, venturing deeper inside, cheerfully calling out, "Let's play, let's play." After a few steps, she spots a skeleton sprawled on the ground. Then, something ahead catches her eye, leaving her astonished. Before her stand dungeon monsters, led by a massive bull accompanied by 2 milk cows as guards. Looking at them, she wonders, "Cows?" At that moment, the bull leader's gaze shifts to one of its guards, letting out a low snort as if issuing a command. Immediately, the milk cow understands and charges toward Kyul, ready to attack. But sensing the danger, the mermaid spirit behind Kyul remains calm, then darts forward with a terrifying expression. Following Kyul's raised hand, the monsters are swept up in a swirl of cool blue water, lifted into the air. The bull leader stares at Kyul and mutters, "Impossible." Its expression darkens as its 2 guards lie unconscious. Kyul, overjoyed, claps her hands. Good job, good job. Kyul's awesome." Looking at her, the leader begins to analyze. At the very least, it's a master-level profession to handle a high-grade spirit like that. A dangerous factor must be eliminated quickly. As soon as it finishes the thought, it roars and charges at Kyul like a rampaging class president. But then, from the side, small cracks suddenly appear in the wall, startling it. Moments later, a hand bursts through, delivering a punch straight to the leader's face, leaving it stunned. Kang Cheol appears out of nowhere, landing a direct hit on the leader's face, causing it to cry out in pain. Looking down at Kyul, he scolds, "You little troublemaker. I was wondering where you went, and here you are. Humph, raising kids is no easy task." Then he turns to the leader and greets, "Long time no see." The leader looks at him with a hint of admiration and says, Maro Rikas? Recognizing an old acquaintance, Kong Cheol clenches his fist and continues. So your memory's better than that dragon I know. You're one of the ones who came to the Ispan continent with the Demon King's army, aren't you? The leader turns its head away, denying. No, you've got the wrong guy. Kong Cheol steps forward, grabs one of its horns, and crushes it with a squeeze. Realizing it can't deny it, the leader angrily confesses. All right. I returned to this demon realm labyrinth 10 years ago and haven't left since. That's the truth. Kong Cheol steps closer and asks, You don't know anything about the Demon King? Not even his recent whereabouts? It replies, I don't know. Since returning to the demon realm 10 years ago, I know he's been sleeping to recover his strength. At these words, Kong Cheol uses his insight skill to verify the truth. After checking, he mutters to himself, Insight confirms it's true, so it must be. The leader looks at him, startled, and says, Maro Rikas, are you here to invade the demon realm this time? Kong Cheol looks away and replies, No, to be precise, it seems this entire labyrinth has fallen into another dimensional space. This isn't the demon realm, it's a place called Earth. In the battle back then, the Demon King didn't die. No, he couldn't die. To prevent the Demon King from achieving an immortal body, I reached the Grandmaster level in 6 disciplines, joined forces with the Ancient Dragon and the Ice Dragon Aramid. Our combined strength was only enough to force him into a state of semi-permanent death. But whether by chance or fate, the Demon King rode a newly formed spatial rift and escaped. Then he looks at the leader and calls out, Minotaur. It's not on the same level as the 4 great lords of the demon realm, but it's a very strong boss. He thinks, if something like this can cross over, there's bound to be something even stronger. Then he glances at Kyul, who's now making hungry noises. He sighs softly. Oomph, you're hungry already. He walks over and picks her up. All right, let's get out of here. Hearing this, the leader lets out a shaky breath of fear. The heavy breathing catches Kong Cheol's attention. He turns back, lets out a small hum, startling the creature. Then he makes a proposal. I have a job for you. The scene shifts outside, where Kong Cheol is preparing breakfast. Smelling the aroma, Kong steps out and compliments. That meat smells amazing. What are you cooking today, Kong Cheol? Seeing Kong Cheol lost in thought, Kong calls again. The stew's spilling over. The loud call snaps Kong Cheol out of his reverie. He looks at the pot and says, It's perfectly simmered. Sit down, let's eat breakfast. Kyul already ate earlier and went back to sleep. Looking at the bowl of stew in front of him, Kong praises. This looks delicious. What kind of meat is it? Kong Cheol replies. Oxtail. Probably because I saw something similar not long ago. It reminded me to buy it. He casually picks up a chili pepper and takes a bite. Seeing this, Kong asks, What's that vegetable? Kong Cheol replies. It's a chili pepper. Tastes best when you bite right into it. Kong follows suit, biting into a chili, and asks, Is it like some kind of herb? Suddenly, his mouth burns, and he spits out a burst of flame, shouting, What the heck? He grabs a water bottle nearby and chugs it down. From outside, someone approaches and calls out, Anyone in there? A very pretty young girl steps in, flashing a bright smile and greeting. Hello, I just opened a shop out front, so I came to say hi. She offers a bouquet of flowers and says, I brought these fresh friends for you. Accepting the flowers, Kong Cheol says, Thank you. Smelling the aroma from the kitchen, she asks, That smell? Hey, do you have any meat? He replies, Sure do. I made oxtail stew today. Overjoyed, she suggests, Can I have a bowl? He nods. Of course, come in and wait a bit. The girl sits at the table and notices the chili peppers on Khan's plate. She wonders, What are those? Propping her chin, she muses. There's vegetables on the table. Then her eyes light up. Instantly, the 2 chili peppers on the plate twitch, startling Khan. Even Kong Cheol is surprised as an onion in the kitchen begins to move strangely. Within seconds, the vegetables seem to come alive, moving around the kitchen. Seeing this, the girl lets out a delighted gasp. Kong Cheol glances at her, using his insight skill to analyze. A plant class awakened. The system sends a notification. Mood, fearful. Class, plant. Achievement level, mid-tier. Skill resistance, mid-tier achieved. This is a rare skill, capable of making surrounding plants grow rapidly or move. On the Ispan continent, a plant class awakened mastered plant regeneration, creating a field of rose vines from just 10 roses, strong enough to halt the demon realm's army. It's a fairly powerful class. Kong Cheol steps forward and says to the girl, "So, you're an awakened. Quite a hassle." Hearing this, she shyly responds, "I'm sorry. I guess I just feel guilty eating things like vegetables." He picks up an angry onion and says, "I've often seen the opposite case, but a customer like you is a first." From outside, Li Bahi walks in, cheerfully saying, "Hey, give me a salad." Kong Cheol looks at her and replies, "Welcome." Li Bahi glances at the girl, pauses for a moment, and says, "Aren't you the flower girl from the gentleman team?" Hearing flower girl, Kong Cheol is puzzled. The girl covers her face, embarrassed. "I'm not some flower girl, ha." Li Bahi teases, "But you are the flower girl. Though, you're with the gentleman team in Siocho, why are you here?" The girl trembles with embarrassment and says, "Well, that's..." Then she bursts into tears. "I know. I made a huge mistake in a dungeon that appeared recently." Li Bahi asks, "What mistake?" She begins to explain. "It was a dungeon full of plant class monsters. I couldn't bring myself to kill them, so I ran away. And our tank, my older brother, got injured. Not near death, but..." Before she can finish, Li Bahi interrupts. "You owned up to your mistake and reflected on it. That's what a protector team should do. So you ran away and opened a flower shop at the end of that alley? Have you apologized yet?" The girl explains, "That place is actually my home. This is my hometown." Li Bahi comforts her. "Running away won't solve anything, flower girl." The girl shyly responds, "You're right. I should apologize before leaving, shouldn't I?" She turns to Kong Cheol and says, "Hey, I'd like to settle the bill." Seeing her about to leave, he says, "In that case, if you have any seeds for farming, could you pay me with those later?" The girl asks, "Is that okay? Then I'll pick out the best seeds and come back." Just as she's about to leave, a massive surge of energy rushes in from outside. A man steps in and says, "So you're here." Seeing him, the girl trembles and shouts, "Captain Gentleman." Seeing she's safe, he glances at Li Bahi and says, "So you're here too, old lady. Long time no see." Hearing old lady, Li Bahi yells angrily, "Stop calling me old lady." The man looks at the girl and says, "No time to waste. There's a new dungeon." The girl clutches her chest, terrified. He continues, "Want to retire? If so, submit an official resignation, and I'll accept it." She explains, "No, it's not that. I'm useless, always causing trouble," and he steps forward, puts a hand on her shoulder, and comforts her. "Everyone makes mistakes. Me, you, even her. If you acknowledge it and grow from it, that's enough." Hearing her again, Li Bahi shouts, "Hey, I'm not an old lady. I'm a big sister." The man throws an arm around the girl, lifting her under his arm, and says, "Let's go, flower girl. No time to hesitate." She responds, embarrassed, "Captain, that nickname is enough already." As he reaches the door, he turns to Kong Cheol and asks, "You're the owner here?" Kong Cheol replies, "Yes." He continues, "Kim Senga talks about this place a lot. Says it's a great spot. Next time, I'll come as a customer." Kong Cheol thanks him, thinking, "Good thing gentleman has a positive impression of this place." The man glances at Li Bahi and says, "She'll cover the bill." Then he turns to leave. "Come on, flower girl, let's go." She replies, "Yes." Watching them leave, Li Bahi sighs, "I'm exhausted, so exhausted." She glances into the kitchen and notices Khan peeking out, catching her attention. She asks, "Why is he acting like that?" Caught, Khan steps back, stammering, No. Yes, yes." After finishing her salad, she stands up, smiling. "I should get going too. I'll leave the payment here." Watching her leave, Kong Cheol calls out, "See you." Then he looks at Khan and asks, "What's up?" Khan, staring after her, shyly says, "She's so cool." Recalling her words, "Running away won't solve anything," he mutters. "It won't. It won't." His face turns red, and he declares, "I think I'm in love with her." This statement leaves Kong Cheol stunned for 5 seconds before he asks, "Since when?" Khan, embarrassed, replies, "Well, just now."
Kong Chul stepped through a gate, gazing at the scenery before him, unable to hold back his admiration. No walls meant it was spacious and open, with a refreshing breeze all around. "Finally, I get to see it." I have been wondering how the dungeon's ecosystem has changed. The weathering system that is a magical device. Inside, there are about 2 zero-grade mana crystals, since the essence of mana crystal crafting technology lies within the dungeon. Could it be that even in the demon realm, there are specialists in mana crystals? I once thought about how far it could go, but this thing was custom-made for a specific designed area. If taken outside, all the mana would dissipate. But I can't just leave this place as it is. There is manpower here. It would be a waste to abandon it. Looking at the herd of cows farming vegetables in the distance, he was slightly surprised. There is already a field. Cows are herbivores, right? They do not eat people, one cow immediately affirmed. Of course, that was true in the past. They used to treat humans as food, but not anymore these days. He immediately approached to inquire, perfect timing. In this dungeon, what do you mainly grow? It scratched its head and replied, grass. He did not say more, just beckoned it closer, then smacked it hard on the head and shouted. There are many types of grass, are not there? The cow hurriedly corrected, it is apple seeds and pine seeds. He looked at the distant vegetable beds, pondering. Apple seeds, that is a fruit similar to walnuts, tasting like apples but sweeter and crispier. Pine seeds are like a fist-sized pineapple, with soft skin that can be eaten whole. Thinking of this, he pulled out the seed pouch the flower-selling girl had given him and said, good. Then take these and plant them too. The cow looked bewildered. What are these? He pointed and said, lettuce, cabbage, carrots, curly lettuce, and others. The planting method was to go a bit further. He asked again, what is that? The cow enthusiastically introduced, for your reference, these are what we have collected so far. Are you thinking of taking them from us? He calmly retorted. Then what else should I take from you? Pushing open the treasure vault door, he bent down to pick up some items inside, various seeds and weapons. They seemed to be spoils from when they invaded the Span continent long ago. Suddenly, a beam of light emitted, catching his attention. This was the appraisal eye activating. Item information appeared, Tears of the Ocean. Kong Chul immediately recalled the mermaid's treasure, ruler of the northern seas of the continent. He had not expected to see it here. Originally, the Tears of the Ocean is a treasure that can pour out anything the owner desires. At first, it fell into the hands of a poor farmer and continuously produced rice. A greedy rich man stole the gem from the farmer. After fleeing to sea on a large ship, at that time, salt was extremely expensive. He commanded it to produce unlimited salt, and the gem poured out salt non-stop. Until the ship was full and sank. That is a folktale-like story, saying that is why the northern sea became salty. It is not a myth. This gem truly produces a very special kind of salt. This will be useful for the restaurant. Seeing him take one item and turn to leave, the cow hesitantly asked, are you leaving now? Before going, he instructed, eat a bit more and regain your strength, because we will have to run a lot more. The cow trembled and replied, understood. Seeing him fully leave, the other cows gathered and inquired, he is gone. The cow was sweating profusely, breathing a sigh of relief. Its broken horns had quickly regrown, but the deep-seated fear from the war could not be erased. A being who could defeat the power that nearly killed the Demon King in the past does not exist in this world. To recover from the damage the Demon King suffered back then, he had to sleep for at least 100 years. Moreover, that kid from before looked only about 5 years old in human terms, with horns, a tail, and monster-like abilities. It could only be a dragon. Miro Laika's no. Kong Chul, has he now turned even a dragon into his subordinate? Has he finally conquered the world? And is he raising dragons in large numbers to conquer the demon realm? The only hope is that the new Demon King has only slept for 10 years. So let us do our best to curry favor with that monster and survive. That sounds good. Thinking so, it turned and ordered the other cows, first, we need to build up our stamina. At the same time, in the real world outside, Li Bahi had just arrived in front of a gate when someone nearby shouted, Miao Ying, you are here. This is the largest gate discovered so far. We predict the scale will be correspondingly large. We will enter immediately and request support from the teams. Li Bahi said nothing and slipped inside, gazing at the scene before her, utterly amazed. The size of a gate largely reflects the dungeon's size. Until recently, the hypothesis was that correspondingly strong monsters would appear. But what is this? This dungeon was completely empty, leaving her frozen in place. Nothing at all. It felt like the sky was about to drop something. Yet nothing happened, like a predator before swallowing its prey. After a moment, she turned back to report to Chiolsu, "This dungeon is designated as 0 grade." The group looked over in confusion. Kim Sang-gu, slightly tense, asked, "You said it is designated 0 grade, what is inside?" She glanced back at the gate and confirmed, "Nothing at all." He looked troubled, twitching his lips, "Plus it is large scale. Now there is another variable. The observation team is inside the dungeon, right?" A team member confirmed. "Yes, currently no major issues. And they say the ripples in the sky are intensifying, predicting a spatial rift will open within a few hours or days." Kim Sang-gu nodded and said, "Chairman Grandpa has issued a level 3 alert, and Gearwalk is on the way." Lee Bahi was slightly surprised. "Level 3, I hope it can be resolved at that level." Just as she finished speaking, a mechanical foot stepped forward with a voice, "Hello, Sang-gu and Uncle Gavia too. Isn't CO Diamond getting too hot lately? It feels like all the big events happen here." Kim Sang-gu drooped his head, "I think so too." Lee Bahi looked at his face and advised, "Rest, kid. You have not slept at all, have you? Get some sleep, because it seems it will be a while before you can again." At the same time, at Kong Chol's restaurant, Khan put on a neat suit, admired himself in the mirror, then turned to ask Kong Chol, "Chol, do I look weird?" He casually commented, "You look cool." "But what is going on?" Khan blushed and mumbled, "That person is coming again today, right?" Kong Chol wondered, "Who?" "Oh, Miao Ying. Since that customer comes every day, she will probably come today too." Khan did not want such an uncertain answer. Did he? Just as he spoke, Lee Bahi pushed the door open. "Hello, I would like a salad." He cheerfully replied, "Welcome. Yes, I will make it for you right away." But before he could move, he froze in place. Khan thrust a flower in front of Lee Bahi and shouted, "Please marry me." Lee Bahi could not believe it. "Me?" He was sweating, nodding, "Yes." She giggled, covering her mouth, "I do not like dating, and marrying someone younger is tiring." Khan rolled his eyes. "Then how old are you?" She smiled even brighter, "Secret." "And you?" Khan gloomily replied, "I just look like this." But before he finished, Kong Chol dragged him away by the collar. "Sorry, customer, my nephew is a bit sick." She did not mind, smiling, "He is just cute. That is all." Khan blushed and whispered in Kong Chol's ear. "What is wrong, Chol? Is it that weird?" Kong Chol affirmed, "Anyone would think it is weird." This made Khan slump. He looked around, wondering, "I feel a bit guilty. So should I use what I just got this time? Tears of the Ocean. I did not expect to use it so soon. But it is effective for stamina recovery, so it will be useful." Using the Tears of the Ocean to sprinkle salt on sliced watermelon. Sprinkling salt on watermelon enhances the sweetness, so it is a method I often use. A while later, the food was served. This time, it was salad and watermelon prepared with the Tears of the Ocean. He warmly served, "Thank you for waiting." Lee Bahi took a piece of watermelon, tried it, and covered her mouth in shock, unable to believe, "How can this watermelon be so delicious? It is strange. I feel my fatigue melting away and energy surging back." He smiled satisfied, "I am glad to hear that." Lee Bahi ate while saying, "Lately, I have not had an appetite. But thanks to the owner, I can eat and keep living." "Owner, a level 3 alert is coming soon. Please be careful." He was quite surprised. "An alert?" She looked up and confirmed, "Yes, level 3 is the lowest, but even so, it is issued when a level 1 boss monster appears. Level 2 is when 2 or more level 1 bosses exist together. Level 1 has never been issued since the Great Monster Invasion 10 years ago. A 0-grade dungeon has been created in CO Diamond. Level 3 alerts are usually handled by local mercenary groups. But since this is a dungeon with many variables, even with guards and a level 1 awakened on standby, they won't have time to rest." Suddenly, the bracelet on her wrist signaled. She could not help but sigh. "Why is this city so busy, anyway? Your nephew is too cute. Please make sure he meets a good woman. I really enjoyed the meal. Please take care." He saw her off. "Yes, thank you. Goodbye." Seeing her leave, Khan grumbled, "Failed, huh?" He nodded as usual, "You could say that." Khan resentfully asked, "Chol, do not you think it is weird for a dragon to love an elf?" He nodded, suddenly recalling, "Miro, your time is different from ours. It is infinitely short and thus even more precious. Don't keep living by sacrificing your life, live the rest of your days happily." The dragon ruling the icy snow region, one of the 5 monarchs Aramir Laterno, before falling into slumber after using too much power to defeat the Demon King, had said, "Live your own life." Thinking of this, he turned and went inside, clicking his tongue. Well, is race really the issue? I have been through that too. Khan wondered, what have you been through? His mind flashed. And he could not hold back, shouting, what does this mean? Chul, have you been in love before? He turned back, smiling, forget it. I will go home and take a walk. Suddenly, a surge of demonic energy shot past, making him freeze. Khan looked troubled, bracing himself. Why is there suddenly a bloody smell? He frowned in annoyance. This familiar bloody scent was the one you would smell during the battle with the Demon King 10 years ago. At the same time, at the 0-grade dungeon gate, to the horror of the hunters, a female demon led her clan out, laughing playfully. This is the human world. Now, my children, devour all those wretches. Kim Sang-gu stood up to command the group, set up the iron defense barrier. The people immediately split up and deployed the iron shields. A massive shield wall formed, blocking the entire blood rain outside. But as soon as the demon clan advanced, the barrier shattered like glass. A girl anxiously warned, vampires, leader, the shield was broken instantly. While speaking, Kong Hyuk charged forward, slashing a demon's body to pieces, gripping his sword tightly and sighing, indeed, worthy of a 0-grade dungeon. Seeing him, Kim Sang-gu rushed over in a panic. Kong Hyuk, thanks for coming, but the female demon paid no mind to her slain demons. She formed an array while mocking, pathetic beings. Kim Sang-gu looked elsewhere and ordered, the temple mercenary team has joined too. Prepare for battle. The female demon pressed blood crystals into her palm, exploding them, causing the blood crystals below to surge violently. Kim Sang-gu warned anxiously, the smoke is blocking our vision. Everyone, be careful. Suddenly, a mechanical hand lit up. A laser beam shot out, forcing Kim Sang-gu to twist and dodge. The mechanical figure waved and shouted, Sang-gu, you okay? Kim Sang-gu warily turned back. I thought I was going to die because of you. Can you secure visibility? Kim Hun immediately affirmed. Clearing all this smoke is impossible, but I can see. With that, he controlled the mech suit to extend its arm. A barrage of lasers flew out, piercing the demon clan, but their bodies reformed like water bubbles after being shattered. Kim Hun grumbled angrily, damn it, that massive entity can't be dealt with using normal attacks. Suddenly, the slimy horde did not regroup but scattered. Kim Hun shouted, it is fleeing, it is trying to escape the gate, stop it. Kim Sang-gu immediately volunteered, I will go. With that, he gathered lightning at his spear tip, charged forward, and thrust straight into the slimy mass, halting it. Seeing it disperse again, he shouted to command, now's the moment, defense team. Seal the exit, it is trying to escape the gate. The group immediately formed seals to lock it down, responding in unison, creating the 6 stars array. The sealing was complete. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. All right, let us begin. Kim Sang-gu led the charge toward the remaining demons. The female demon's expression turned sour upon seeing her path blocked, thinking to herself, this is bad. The power I struggled to recover only 2/5 after the war 10 years ago is not enough now. Why are these humans' levels so high? The dignity of a vampire lord who once swept the continent is nowhere to be found. Now I am in a position to beg for my life. I do not want to die. Thinking this, she melted into a pool of blood and slithered away. But Li Bahi suddenly teleported behind her, mocking, so you are here, your chaos ends now. While speaking, the scene below made her freeze. The demons below were like moths to a flame, frantically ramming the array. Li Bahi urgently acted, forming the 6 stars. I need to end this before it breaks through. But when her dagger touched, the female demon's body melted into blood fluid, slipping into the array's water trench. Barely escaping with her life, she was overjoyed. I finally got away. Unexpectedly, at the other end of the gate, Kong Chul appeared, knocked her out, picked her up like a chick, tore open space, and stepped out politely, asking, now then, Mr. Kong Chul, what brings you here today? Seeing what was in his hand, Kim Sang-gu stammered, this is. Kong Chul confirmed, yes, one of the 4 demon realm lords, the vampire lord Sofran Lees. Take her elsewhere. Kashim, sweating profusely, took her. Why yes, sir. Kong Chul turned away, pondering, anyway, the Awakened Association's capabilities are quite impressive. They move systematically and accurately. receiving a battle report with 0 casualties. And Gear Walk, his destructive power and situational judgment are truly formidable. Unlike the continent, this place truly gathers only the elite. These people are reliable. This world belongs to everyone, but I also need to anticipate this war. Thinking this, he ordered, Kim, bring me a level 1 magic stone. Kim respectfully complied. Yes. Holding the magic stone, Kong Chul nodded satisfied and turned, this should be enough. So now, shall we reunite after 10 years? Sometime earlier in the demon realm, the demon realm was completely ruled by the strong. The strong held everything. In other words, the Demon King was the strongest entity in the demon realm. The Demon King commanded 4 lords beneath him, each possessing immense power and absolute loyalty to the Demon King. Before the female demon, vampire lord Sofran Lees, was captured by Kong Chul, she sighed in frustration, that was before. My children, the Vampire Legion, were very strong and reaped many benefits. Until the Demon King was nearly killed by the young hero Miro Lycas and fled. How could my thousands of dragon legions be defeated by one person? I nearly died and returned here. But to recover my depleted power, I had to continuously drink high-quality blood. Why has my fate turned out like this? The Demon King and the other 3 lords are not much better off. The Demon King and the other 3 lords are in similar states. I should definitely kill him. If I can fully recover this power. That bastard Miro Lycas. She was still frowning when her eyes widened. Her bathtub was suddenly teleported through a spatial gate and thrust into humanity's unwilling battlefield. When she jolted awake, she was in a private space designed by Kong Chul. He calmly interrogated, you are awake, 2 choices, live or die. Answer my questions and live. Otherwise, die. Seeing him, she trembled and screamed, You are Miro Lycas. Kong Chul's eyes flashed. Is the Demon King sleeping? She did not answer but shrieked, impossible. Why are you still young? I thought you would be old and dead if I waited 60 years. He gradually lost patience and stood up. Your loyalty is deeper than I thought. Then you must die. She suddenly remembered and panicked. What? I will answer, the Demon King is still sleeping. He probably needs another 40 years to fully recover his power. Through appraisal eye, he knew this was true and praised satisfied, smart. He asked again, how much power have you recovered? She immediately replied, 2/5. Kong Chul calculated, 2/5, that is nearly equivalent to 2 level 1 monsters. Each Demon Realm Lord is extremely powerful, capable of swallowing 5 to 6 level 1 monsters. He continued, did you come here with a purpose? She was flustered. No, I was resting quietly when I suddenly fell here. Appraisal eye showed, lie. Kong Chul's killing intent surged, snapping his fingers, die. She hurriedly corrected, wait, yes, I fell here intending to kill people. Appraisal eye showed, truth. He frowned in confusion, the entities coming from the demon realm are getting stronger. It would be strange to call this a coincidence when the 4th Lord, the Vampire Lord, is sent here. Someone deliberately created the spatial rift, but who? He turned back to interrogate, what is the current situation in the demon realm? Lees began to feel annoyed. Because the Demon King is sleeping, everything is chaotic with constant wars. He felt slight sympathy, must be troublesome. Are the other lords in the same state as you? Lees nodded, everyone is trying to recover their power. And I am the 3rd to come here. He turned away satisfied, good. Lees joyfully asked, so you will spare me? He grabbed her and confirmed, I always keep my promises. Lees smiled uncontrollably. Thank you, you are better than I thought. Unexpectedly, he tossed her from this space to another, concluding, a promise is a promise. Following, he entered this space and handed her over to the bull. Here's a new employee. Teach her the dungeon rules and get to work. The bull was confused. Lord Sofran Lees looked up annoyed. Mino, long time no see. It was flustered, long time no see. He paid no more attention, turned to instruct, I am busy, so I will go. Confirming he was gone, the bull began explaining, Lord Lees, Miro Lycas uses dragons as subordinates. There might be a dragon army. She could not believe it, dragons. So those people earlier were his subordinates too, come to think of it, he does not age, so it is not strange. Not only mastering 6 classes, it seems he has gained immortality. Suddenly, Kong Chul's voice echoed throughout the space, talking too much, should I kill you right now? The bull quickly cleared its throat and listed, first, dungeon rules, never try to escape. If you do not work, you do not eat. Finally, the most important, eat a lot and gain a lot of strength. The two continued exchanging. A notification appeared, a new employee has been recruited for the restaurant. A while later, the training for the new restaurant employee was essentially complete. Sometime after, Kong Chul stepped back into this dungeon area, looking at the listless cows lying on the ground, slightly puzzled as he questioned, "Why does everyone look so weak, so Lise? What are you doing?" Lise jolted upright in surprise. "Miro Likas, I have done my best. Really, please believe me. I have worked a lot and tried to eat plenty. I do not even try to escape anymore." He asked in confusion, "Why do you have to eat so much?" She blushed and whispered, "Eating a lot and building health is the rule. So I have been trying with blood-sucking too. Even when I eat a lot, I just get fat. What should I do?" He helplessly held his head. "You are an exception, put on more clothes. That is the new rule." She joyfully sprang up, "Really, got it. How about this? I used hell cow blood as fertilizer, and these vegetables grew really well. I can filter the blood I drank and make it cleaner." Hearing her, he now remembered, right, Sofran Lisa's blood-sucking ability can filter into a healing liquid. If I collect impure blood, it will have a toxic effect too. Someday, I will make use of that ability. He bent down to pluck a leaf and evaluate. Since the ecosystem of these plants is good, let us use them as today's restaurant ingredients. He returned to the restaurant carrying a basket of green vegetables, seeing Khan slumped over the table, and asked, "Khan, can you prepare these veggies? Why do you look so tired?" Khan, like a soulless person, held a carrot and replied, "I have not finished the carrots yet." He rested his chin on his hand, pondering, well, Khan is helping at the restaurant while trying to return to the continent, so it is understandable why he is exhausted. So he suggested, "How about you take a few days off?" Both Khan and Kuel were surprised. Rest, yeah, a vacation. Kuel quickly brought a stack of brochures for him to see. "Papa, this is an ocean vacation. I want to go to the ocean, let me go." He contemplated. Kuel can now hide her horns and tail. "All right, let us go to the sea." Hearing this, Kuel was super excited, kneeling and bowing repeatedly. "Thank you, Dad." Kong Chul chuckled. "Khan, you taught her this, did not you?" Khan thoroughly enjoyed it and replied, "That is the result of education." He helplessly instructed, "You do not need to bow like that. Change clothes and head out." Khan rolled his eyes in disbelief. "Really, got it." A moment later, Kong Chul posted a notice on the door, "Closed today." "Done." He turned to the two already in swimsuits on the other side. "Ready?" Both replied in unison. "Yes." Kong Chul lightly touched Kuel. Instantly, the girl and Khan were lifted into the air. Kuel excitedly cheered. Khan asked in astonishment, "She is flying. What classes have you learned?" He looked toward the sea and answered, "Mostly stealth and agility related. I learned classes focused on killing other entities." With that, he pulled them close and instructed, "Hold on tight." Kong Chul created a barrier and shot forward. Khan excitedly laughed, "Since I am flying in human form, it feels so different. Back when I was a dragon." Soon, their destination appeared before them. Through dense tree canopies, the sparkling blue sea emerged. Khan could not believe it and exclaimed, "The ocean of this world." He landed, looked around, and introduced, in the past, this was the busiest sea, but it became a lawless zone due to the gates. Seeing Kuel running around with spirits while Khan lounged, he wondered, "You are not going to play in the water?" Strange for a Dragon Clan member. Khan did not quite understand and replied, "I do not like water that much, but I do not hate it either, and this is good enough." Kong Chul watched Kuel play and smiled happily. "Right." He tore open space and called, "Karsham, get me the fishing rod I obtained from the eastern continent." Karsham hesitated and confirmed, "You mean Duke Huang's fishing rod?" "Yes, Sir. Kong Chul is currently a commoner." He smiled and took it. "Well done." Seeing Kong Chul holding the rod and walking over, Khan was curious. "What is that?" He looked down and explained, "A reward I got for fulfilling requests from immortals on the eastern continent. It can catch big fish without bait. So I thought I would try to get some food." With that, he leapt into the air and sat mid-air fishing. His mind suddenly recalled what the immortal who gave him this had said. The waiting time with a fishing rod becomes a chance to think and reflect on oneself. I still do not fully understand. Even if I reflect on myself every day, only regrets remain inside. And more importantly, with a good fishing rod like this, it is good because I do not have time to think about other things. Seeing the level 2 monster Kong Chul hooked, Khan was horrified. What is this? On the other side, the spirits were catching small fish too. Kyul happily caught a tentacle. A while later, Kong Chul returned to evaluate the haul. Mature virtue fish were caught too. Honestly, we can't eat these, they're not tasty, but you did great. Dad will make something better for you. Looking at the giant squid on the sea, he felt a bit regretful, thinking, normally, when squid and other seafood grow large, the ammonia in their bodies for buoyancy makes them smell like a bathroom. But Kraken uses magical power for buoyancy, so it will have less smell when tender and fresh enough for sashimi. When I was with the Legion on the continent, seafood stew was the best. But this time, ingredients were limited. Soon, 2 new dishes were ready: butter-grilled Kraken tentacles and Kagaran Kraken sashimi. He picked up a tentacle skewer. Kyul reached for it, whining, "I want more too." He fed the girl first. "All right, you can eat now." Biting a piece, Kyul emotionally cheered. So delicious, Papa's food is the best. Thus, the 3 gathered around the table until sunset. Suddenly, something glowing flew by, catching their attention. Khan wondered, is that Lumi? Kong Chul confirmed, yes, it is an insect that glows by eating the salty sea scent. So that is understandable. But this also came from the continent. Thinking of this, he narrowed his eyes and pondered, this sea, the salty scent. Dad was a man from Ban. Though he moved to Seoul, maybe because he missed his hometown, when he came home late, he would buy a pack of squid and sashimi with a bottle of soju. Sitting beside Dad like that, eating squid sashimi bit by bit, I had thoughts in high school. I thought life would end when I entered university. But entering university was just a new beginning. When I returned from military service and deferred studies, it was a chaotic time when everyone said jobs were hard to find. I almost wanted to go back to the military. Upon graduating university, real hell opened: dreams, vision, planned studies. I became incompetent. That is what the world called me. TV and books criticized me for living without thinking. Studying continuously without dreams was wrong. Whose fault is this? I think I worried about this many times. I gave up my dream of a big company on my 30th birthday. So I bought a bus ticket to Nojang, and my dream became a level 9 civil servant. Dad said at the table with the salty sea taste, "The path you chose is right." After promising to succeed in return like that, I could not go home, and ultimately could not return. Seeing him silent for a long while, Khan worriedly called, "Chul, is something wrong?" He snapped back, his face a bit sad, but then regained his usual smile and replied, "No, nothing." "Want a drink?" Khan excitedly, "Yes." At the same time, in the city, massive birdwings soared. A loudspeaker announced steadily, "The wanted beast criminal is fleeing east of Seodimon, carrying 30 level 4 magic stones and thousands of low-level magic stones to the lawless zone. He must not escape to Sioko. Begin capturing the wanted beast criminal." After finishing the meal, Kong Chul returned home with the 2 kids. He turned to remind Khan, who was arranging the freshly caught kraken, "So take Kyul to bed first, then come down." He nodded and replied, "Got it." Meanwhile, little Kyul was still thrilled from the trip. Looking at the meat pieces in front of him, he muttered to himself, "What should I make? Kraken salad would be pretty good. Or stuff it into blood sausage and grill it." But this time, he had already thought of another dish. He cut the prepped kraken body and legs into bite-sized pieces. Then added a bit of oil to the tempura batter, mixed in salt and water for binding. Next, he coated the kraken in batter and double-fried it at high heat. After a while, the kraken tempura was complete. He picked up a piece to taste the crispy batter outside and tender, juicy meat inside were absolutely exquisite. Normally pairs with soju, but in times like this, beer is the way to go, he thought. Then, from outside the shop, some noise caught his attention. A cat's meow made him wonder, a stray cat wandered here. He opened the door and saw a cat. He said, "Cat state, looks like a cat but big as a tiger cub." The system sent a notification, "Species, cat. Personality, neutral. Rank, none. Achievements, none. Skills acquired, none." He thought to himself, even with appraisal eye, it was just a normal cat. Probably picked up and ate a magic stone somewhere. Wild beasts that eat magic stones can't handle the mana and die quickly, unless it is a golem controller for mech suits. Even resisting awakened ones could kill it. Mech magic stone technology is specially surface treated to control mana, allowing humans to use it daily. But for living creatures, it is lethal. He gave it a plate of food and said, I can only give it something tasty. Then he asked, hungry, this is boiled kraken, try it. Seeing the cat obediently enjoy the meal, he smiled inwardly, it is big but gentle. He was now relaxing with a beer and a newspaper. Suddenly, information in the paper caught his eye. The Gangbuk Guardian, Mage Hang Du Kyung, one of the 5 previous generation guardians, survived the great monster disaster. Looking at it, he sighed, feels like I have met him somewhere. Another world? No, definitely not. But where? Then he suddenly saw something in the paper and exclaimed, oh no. The paper read, giant cat attacks, reports of damage from giant cats rising among civilians. He glanced outside the shop. By now, the cat had finished eating and left. Scene shift to the next day. Khan was still diligently working on his fire creation. He was trembling from holding his hands up too long, plus playing with Kuel, making him even more exhausted. Seeing this, Kong Chul approached and asked, what are you doing? Khan replied, I am heating the broth directly. He complained that 1A is too hard. Hearing this, he laughed loudly, ha ha ha, leave it to me, this much broth should be enough. Just grind the magic stone and attach it. Seeing this, Khan wondered, that's simple. He then looked outside and spotted the cat returning with a mouse in its mouth. He went to the door and said, if that mouse is thanks for feeding you, I will pass. Little Kuel came out and asked, is it a tiger? He explained, not a tiger, a cat. The girl happily approached, just a slightly big cat. He called after, giant cat Hidori. Hearing the name, Khan came out from inside and let out a soft "oh." Hidori, cute name. He looked down to see Kuel riding the small cat under its bewildered gaze, startling him as he reminded, Kuel, do not ride on its back. The girl was still petting the cat delightedly. Looking at it, he sighed, really cute, not like the cat in the paper at all. But could there be many cats eating magic stones? Then immediately, as if sensing something, the cat turned and bolted away. At that moment, in the sky, a person in a black dress riding a giant eagle suddenly appeared, searching for something. The person landed and entered the shop. Kong Chul greeted, long time, huh? The other replied, yeah, long time no see. Sitting down, the man said, something light, please. Seeing this familiar figure, he wondered, aren't you gentlemen? Just as he spoke, 2 young men entered from outside. Ryu Shin cracked his knuckles and said, here to fill up before cat hunting. I say just wipe them all out quick. At this haste, Kong Hyuk beside him reminded, quiet. Then the 2 sat down and asked, what is on the menu today? Ryu Shin added, I am starving. Kong Chul smiled, ha ha, fresh squid, if they want something quick and refreshing, that is it. Cold squid soup. After a few minutes of prep, the cold kraken soup was served. Seeing rice too, Kong Hyuk wondered, huh, you have white rice? Just as he spoke, he dumped the rice bowl into the soup, startling Ryu Shin. What, rice with cold noodles in one bowl? He explained, probably spicy, look here. After dumping rice into the cold noodle bowl, he mixed it all together. Scooping a spoonful of rice into his mouth, he devoured it, savoring the familiar taste and sighing, this is the flavor. Seeing his boss's satisfied face, Ryu Shin curiously asked, let me try a bite. He reminded, you need to add rice too for the real deal. On this side, the cold noodles were also served to gentlemen. While enjoying breakfast, Kong Chul asked, hey, after eating, you are going to catch the cat that attacked civilians today? He nodded, yes. Kong Hyuk turned and wondered, going alone? He nodded, yeah, probably related to last year's incident. Hearing this, Kong Chul wondered, last year's incident again? The man explained, a year ago, a notorious thief stole a truck of level 4 and level 6 magic stones. Then he vanished without a trace, slippery as an eel, making investigation extremely difficult. We do not know his name or gender. But in the field, we call him Beast. He can freely control animals. Recalling when he and the team pursued, he ordered, commence capture of wanted criminal Beast. Don't let him cross the Sioko River into the no man's land. Upon orders, the flower-selling girl beside him immediately cast summoning magic. Countless roots shot from the ground, rushing to wrap the criminal's truck. The masked man reacted instantly, whistling into his hand. Immediately, crows from the truck scattered, obstructing vision. One shouted, Captain. The crows scattered from the truck, each holding a magic stone. He turned to the flower girl and ordered, "Encircle and counter." The girl worked at full capacity, murmuring incantations. But below, something startled her eyes wide. From the forest, a large tiger with sharp claws charged out, slashing the roots to free the truck. Gentleman immersed in thought, his level matches mine. Achievements aside, he does not hesitate to use animals, so numbers overwhelm. Suddenly, his eyes glared for a few seconds. Looking at the forest edge, countless controlled animals ran in one direction. He turned and shouted, "The crows were just smoke, more magic stone-eating beasts are fleeing." After escaping control, the masked man and tiger stood atop the truck, ready to confront. His mouth curved in a meaningful smile, then vanished. The two landed in front of the truck to inspect, but a few crows still fell limp after control ended. Thus, capture of Beast Hunter failed. Top priority was recovering magic stones. He fed cats level 4 magic stones. Over 30 total, we caught 26, but all 26 died. Few beasts can withstand magic stone power. They gain strength far beyond their species. Before finishing, Kong Chul interrupted, "So you are handling the remaining 4 cats, right?" The man nodded, "Yes. If they have survived this long, they will cause major damage." The story made him curious. He asked, "Does the mysterious thief beast have a reason for this?" The other replied, "He might have a purpose, but we have not confirmed. Most awakened active in forbidden zones are foreigners." Hearing this, he thought, "Foreigners, huh? Them." After finishing the meal, the man stood up, "I have to go before they are hated more. I will be back." Kong Hyuk also finished and stood, "We are heading out too, owner." After they left, Gentleman continued his work, venturing deep into the forest. He discovered something on the ground, the magic stone-eating cats from before, now lifeless. He sighed, as expected, they could not handle it. But then, the eagle on his shoulder spotted something, making him look. The earlier small cat appeared before him, leaving him stunned. They survived eating magic stones, extremely well developed. Can this happen? They do not attack people unless approached within a certain range. Are they protecting their kind? A reflexive claw scratched his arm. He muttered curses, damn it, just a finger twitch and it is over. The year-long magic stone leak will be cleaned up, and our team gets a big reward after reporting. I can't ruin this over a bit of sympathy. Distinguishing public and private, he decided that was the right thing. He was now washing dishes in the kitchen, still immersed in thoughts about foreigners awakened from the no man's land. Outside Current Seoul lies the lawless zone. Countless abandoned gates mean entry and exit are restricted due to rampant monsters. Those who can operate there must be very strong awakened. He thought to himself, probably not classified info. Next time they return, I will ask. When he returned to the counter, Gentleman approached from outside and called, "Owner." Seeing him back, he inquired, "You are back? Everything okay?" Gentleman nodded, somewhat. "Got any strong liquor?" He replied playfully, "Strong, I have fire liquor, not the best." "Want it served?" He nodded in agreement, "Yes, 1 glass." At this odd behavior, he thought, "Drinking 60 proof like soju straight tomorrow you will suffer. Let me make sweet and sour pork to match." Since there was no pork, he used pre-bought beef. Unlike pork, beef sweet and sour only needs medium frying. Drain when the batter is just cooked, then fry again. When serving, he asked, "Want sauce with the sweet and sour?" Gentleman wondered, "Sweet and sour?" He explained, "It is complimentary." Hearing this, the man shyly replied, "Oh, that is embarrassing. I will pay. I was wondering what to order as a side. Sweet and sour works. Can I have salt instead of sauce?" He thought, he is a sweet and sour connoisseur. Eating like that truly captures the meat's flavor. Looking at the tray before him, the man thanked him. He picked up a piece, dipped it in salt, and chewed vigorously. Then he took a sip of liquor and let out an excited sigh. He turned and called, "Owner." Sometimes, when wanting to do something, the head says one way, but the heart says another. Which do you follow? At the unexpected question, he thought, both have pros and cons. Life on the battlefield is the same. Sometimes you face such decisions. When a comrade is dying surrounded by enemies, the heart says, save them, but the head says, charge on to save more. Either choice has a cost. In my case, no matter which, there is always regret. But conversely, no matter which, there is always something gained. The answer stunned Gentleman, who then asked, "What if the loss is just money?" He replied, "Looking back later, money might not be as valuable as you think. Hearing this, Gentleman seemed to realize something. He pondered a moment, then drank another glass. To relieve his emotions, he set the glass down, feeling lighter. Then I feel relieved. Looking at the man before him, he thought, he and Spearman are strangely alike. Then from outside, the flower-selling girl entered and greeted. Owner, she turned to Gentleman. Captain, you are here too, she continued. Saw the eagles outside, I guessed. What brings you here? Though riding an eagle, Gentleman parked neatly but parked the whole flock. Gentleman turned and asked, and you, flower girl, what are you doing here late at night? She replied. My house is at the end of the alley ahead. Eating sweet and sour, give me a piece. He waved her off. Back off, the captain's in a bad mood today. After finishing, Gentleman stood, thanks for the meal. Watching them leave, he said, yes, take care. The flower girl turned back, I will stop by again. Then she said to the captain, why so drunk today? Just stepping out the door, she saw a fat cat and screamed in surprise. Whoa, a cat, she reassured herself, don't harm cats. But what a huge cat, Captain, he turned and reminded, it is a cat. Lots in Goyong City. She wondered, what is Goyong City? Without answering, he looked at the 3 mice the cat brought before him and waved. What, thanking me, I am full. Eat plenty yourself. Then the 2 supported each other and left. Watching their backs, the cat seemed pensive. It remembered the image of its 3 friends buried properly by Gentleman in the forest. Scene shift to the next day. Little Kuel had returned to dragon form. Khan was brushing her teeth, loudly reminding, no, do not swallow the foam. After brushing, he stepped outside, looked at the newspaper on the table, and muttered, no nightmares today. His eyes caught the paper, all magic stones recovered. Seeing the line, he recalled something. He remembered Gentleman's words, what if the loss is just money? He understood and muttered, that man personally bought 4 level 4 magic stones to cover it. For a guardian, that is a huge expense. He is a good man, an excellent one. He will become an outstanding guardian. He continued flipping pages for news. One item caught his eye, Hanbit Citizen Report, seizure still at large. Foreigners turning no man's land into their base, impact unestimable. It had been 30 years since humans began awakening powers. In time enough for landscapes to change thrice, countless awakened appeared and vanished. Meanwhile, ideological conflicts persisted. Forces believing in protecting civilians and rebuilding cities, and those opposing that view. The 2 sides endlessly clashed over ideology. They split and followed separate paths. The foreigners. After reading the report on foreigner activities, Ju Jinsu sighed wearily and muttered, we have finally crossed the point of no return. On the other side, Kim Hun pushed open the iron desk door, looked down, and said, maximize firing speed, it is still too slow. I think we need to refine the movement mechanism. The newly installed artificial muscles are decent, movement efficiency improved by 50%. But attaching too many artificial muscles has limits, right? The secretary replied, we need new materials that can handle magic stone output. He nodded, gotta keep up the good work. Then he turned and spotted Gentleman already seated, offering a coffee. Kim Hun wondered, what is this? Gentleman replied, stopped by to report on the way. Beast is still hiding in the no man's land, won't come out. Hearing the name, Kim Hun sipped coffee and said, that foreigner, heard the news, the Undertaker, is returning soon. Gentleman said, not me, not Jaeger or those with public identities. An unofficial level 1 awakened. If news of Jaeger's disappearance leaks, chaos ensues. So he was sent discreetly. Gentleman pondered, piecing the story, she and Undertaker both paused external missions and are returning. Who knows how it will turn out? Scene shift. Lee Bahi was spotted by a group. They shouted, he is an awakened association of the squinting eye awakened. While moving, a bat swooped in and bit her calf, making her furious as she flung it aside, thinking, of all places, the leg, really persistent, these salt cellars, she continued fleeing. As for Khan, he looked at a map and said, let me see. I have never investigated the gate in the northwest lawless zone, should I check it out today?